Welcome to the Tabletop Simulator, the one-dayer organised by the Trollslayers Wargaming Club. We just had a small break. There is an earlier part of this video that you can watch. But in short, as you can see here, here's the pairings. We've got a Khorne army, Reapers of Vengeance, Scarbrand, Bloodthirster. I mean, I could talk to you about this on the table in a minute. But the thing is, it's meme day. We missed Bobo. We wish Bobo was on. It's me, James Powell. James Powell is in the chat with me. Hey, James.
Hey, oh.
My co-commentator. It's great. I'm great. I'm also joined, we will be joined by Mr. Adam Mumford, who is the organizer. He's also the infield reporter today. But let's go look at this game, shall we? Let's get into it to win it. You are looking at Tim here, and he is rocking up against Greg. Greg has got this big brick of 9 mighty skull crushers. 9 of these bad boys, right? They're on a 3-up save. They're 5 wounds each. They're pretty terrifying. There's also Scarbrand over there and an exalted the Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage. He's up against a black dragon. Look at that. Looks fantastic.
I like how good the dragon model is and how bad the altar model is. That's great.
How about the what? Yeah. Yeah. But
like
he's
that
up against...
actually flying.
Yeah, he is up against... Look at this horror show that we're looking at here. 8 units of 3 Scourge Runner chariots. Now, Tim has got a lot on the line here. He's also got a Knight of Zeros there. There should also be a Celestant Prime, I think. That's in the list.
Oh, yeah, somewhere.
Yeah.
I've seen him, I think. Yeah, he's weirdly in the reserves bit, so he's deployed, but in heaven.
Yeah, so he's deployed in the sky, and he's up against so this is it, the meme list versus the Khorne list, which is always a meme list because obviously they're terrible. James, who you rooting for?
Never Khorne.
Oh, really?
Doesn't matter what it's playing. Never Khorne. Khorne sucks.
Why?
Boring guard. I talk about it all the time. Boring guard. Boring book. No interest in Khorne. Long live the chariots. Also, I don't think we've talked about it, but obviously our chariot player has more to play for.
We do. Do you want to let people know what's going on there?
Yeah. So I can't remember his name. What's his name? All I can see is usernames.
Tim.
Our chap playing the chariot, Tim, is also playing to have his army, if he wins the whole event, brought and built for him. Which is super important because these chariots, although come in units of 3 on the table, are sold in units of 1 and cost 20-something quid each.
I think it's €35. If you're in Australia, you have to take out a mortgage for this army. Yes, so we're looking at, in English pounds, about 1,000 pound of an army. So if Tim wins the event, his Wargaming Club or friends have said that they will buy it. I'm not sure why they do that to themselves, but I assume it's because they want to watch him have to build that many chariots as well.
No, they said they'll build them.
What? They're going to build them as well?
They're going to buy them and build them. I imagine it's because they know he's never going to win.
Well, this first game might be a bit of a shoe-in. So, as you can see here, they're playing Escalation. So, Escalation has got some pretty funky rules. James, do you know about the deployment rules for Escalation?
Yeah, so Escalation. So, you alternate setup as normal. However, your battle line units must be set up 9 inches away from enemy territory. Behemoths and artillery must be set up more than 24 inches away from enemy territory. Units that are both battle line and behemoth can be set up within 24 as long as they are still more than 9 away from it. So it basically means that anything big is hiding at the back, right?
Yeah, it's a really good scenario because it really messes up the deployment. Adam, are you still in the chat? I'm not sure if you are. It might be good to talk to Adam about his scenario choices when he gets back. And why he's picked what he's picked. We should... is there options? Oh, we're not allowed to do any of the in-game stuff. If you could tell them to up the lighting, it's in options and then it's in the luminance. In the lighting. And they should just turn the lighting up a little bit. It's a bit dark, a bit dingy. It's a bit too grimy. I know the Mortal Realms are meant to be a realm of chaos and disaster, but I'm going to talk to you guys right now about these Scourge Runner chariots and why they are doing the rounds. It's been talked about ever since the Cities of Sigmar book came out. I don't think I've ever seen anyone mad enough to take this many Scourge Runner chariots, but this is why. They've got 6 wounds each with a 5-up save, so each 150-point unit is 18 wounds. They move 12 inches, but they're in Tempest Eye, so they're Cities of Sigmar, so they're going to get plus 3 inches move on the first turn, which means they're going to be moving 15 inches. So they're really, really fast, right?
Yep.
They also get +1 saves. So they're going to be a 4-up save in that first turn. But it's all about the Ravager harpoons that they're equipped with. They've got 2 attacks each, and they're 18 inches. So normally 30-inch range they've got going on. So a bit of a 30-inch ranger. But in the first turn it's going to be 33 inches. 2 shots each. So it's going to be 6 shots coming out of the unit, hitting on 3s, wounded on 3s, rend 1. Doing D3 damage. So if we just extrapolate that out, there are 16, 24. There's 24, which means we've got 48 shots with a 33-inch threat range on the first turn. Hit on 3s, wound on 3s, rend 1. There you go. Look at that. How cool's that?
Did someone turn the lights on? It's not like Bobo anymore, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then D3 damage. However, if an unmodified hit roll for an attack made with the Ravager Harpoon is a 6, it inflicts D3 mortal wounds. So that's a lot of opportunities to roll those 6s to also do D3 mortal wounds. So it's got rend, and then in the unit of 3, James, if you have a unit of 3, one of them's allowed to be a Beastmaster. And so you're allowed to add 1 to hit rolls or attacks made with that model's missile weapons. So actually, out of these 8 units, 2 of the shots out of each of the 8 units is going to be getting +1 to hit. So it's going to be hitting on 2s and then wounding on 3s.
I think they're better than people imagine. I just don't think you see them very often because of the cost of them.
I think that they're as good as people expect. But they...
Would you spend that much money on them?
No. People have talked about this list for a while, but it's just very expensive. No, I wouldn't, because it only takes 1 nerf for the army to be useless. But we haven't yet talked about the command trait that we've got seen going on, which is on. If you type !list in the chat, you guys can see the armies. By the way, the command trait that's on the Black Ark Fleetmaster, who's only 60 points, is got Hawkeye. Hawkeye is add 1 to wound rolls for missile attacks made by friendly Tempest Eye units wholly within 12 inches of the general. So that Black Ark Fleetmaster, who we haven't seen gone down yet, I don't think, is going to be adding +1 to wound on all those shots as well, James.
Just looking at him. I'm just looking at those chariots. Oh, there he is. Oh, no. Further forward, mate. Get in there.
Get in there.
You're going to have to run loads. Also, he's looking the wrong way.
He's also got a Celestant Prime on the board, so we could have him go mano a mano.
He's got the Azeroth down, hasn't he? On the dumbest base I've ever seen.
The Azeroth is on a dumb base.
Yeah, look at him. What's he on? This crazy Sigmar base.
Yeah, so some people... Oh, look, the Blackheart Fleetmaster... Oh, can I turn him? I've turned him around. There we go. He's facing the wrong way completely. Tim's a very aggressive player. Also, his main army is Khorne, says Winner Dave. Okay, so let's look at the Khorne army. I know we've been talking about the chariots a lot, but you've needed to. That's why this is going to be horrific. It's going to be who gets the choice to go first. James is also going to be listening to the game while we commentate, so a bit of give and take on that, but I'm hoping
I believe Khorne getting the choice.
Khorne gets the choice. Now, important things to note here is all these Blood Reavers really are just Blood Tithe. Scarbrand and the Bloodthirster are sat well back right now. And the Skull Crushers, this is the big unit, 5 wounds each. Yeah, so that's 45 wounds in that unit. And they, because there's 9 of them, I think that's the right maths. And they are on a 3-up save, and they're going to have a 4-up. They're going to get +1 to their save from Bronze Flesh, so they're going to get a 2-up armor save, and then they're going to be running into the midfield. You don't score the objectives on the first turn. I'm right in thinking that, am I, James?
The Cities of Sigmar is going first.
Cities of Sigmar is going first. Okay.
Yeah, you can't score battle round 1.
No, you can't. Vlad says the chariots are underpriced. Wise, in my opinion. I mean, we agree with that absolutely. If you look at the Chaos Chariots that we saw last week, interestingly, we started every TTS tournament coverage with a chariot list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cities of Sigmar are going first. Oh, interesting.
Oh, here they go.
No hero phase. Just 0 hero phase.
There was a hero phase. You earned an extra command point, and that was it.
That was it for the hero phase. So these chariots are going 15 inches in the first turn. 15 inches. So it looks like... and they're not terrible in a fight. They're not great either. They've got the vicious bites from the mounts, which have got 4 attacks, but 4s and 5s. And then they've got the hook spears, which are 2-inch range, and they're just 2 attacks each, 4s and 4s. So they're actually, they're like by not bad in a fight, they're actually terrible in a fight. They might be okay with these Blood Reavers, but I think what they're really doing is they're measuring from Scarbrand. Yes, so they're not in range to hit that Scarbrand right now, so they won't be doing that. Don't go. So what does everyone think of this list? Black Dragon is fantastic. The Black Dragon is really good. This is another great piece in the Cities of Sigmar. So the Dreadlord on Black Dragon is a really good piece, and we see that taken quite a lot. He's battling sometimes against the Anointed of Assyrian on a Frostheart Phoenix. We're seeing that run in this tournament from Darren.
Yeah,
Darren's running that because that is just such an obnoxiously strong character. To play objectives, and it's a great support piece as well. So it's got to be one of the best heroes in the game. I think anyway. Not sure. Everyone, who are you rooting for? Twitch chat, Facebook chat, YouTube chat, wherever you're watching from. Who are you rooting for? I want to know. You rooting for the chariots or you rooting for the Khorne? James, I already know where your money's on, but tell me anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm never going to root Khorne. So always the chariots, and also I kind of want to see. So the only time I've seen these run, I think, since Cities of Sigmar came out was I know Nick Thompson has got 3, and he's used them against me. And I think like even if you're just using them as like almost as like bodies that move around the board fast, do some damage, but also have a ton of wounds for the points. They're just crazy. Like they're just so strong for what you're paying for them, I think. So I think it'll be really interesting to see someone with this like 800 quid army list.
It would look amazing on the actual real tabletop. Obviously, these are some 2D sculpts. Now, don't let that put you off. Some of the TTS sculpts that we'll see in the other games are really pretty. There's some really pretty...
That dragon looks great.
I mean, look at this, yeah. I mean, that's the Lord of the Rings one. So you can have some really pretty models in this game, and they're getting better. As we're all using Tabletop Simulator more for during the lockdown, they are generally getting better. But fun. So do you think... So for me, James, I'd be focusing on the Skull Crushers, because both Scarbrand and the big... Lord of Khorne, the Bloodthirster of Incense and Rage are really big hitters, but I'd just be looking to hit into those Blood Crushers. They're going to swing the game, in my opinion, because there's so many wounds, and he just needs to start whittling them down ASAP before you get bronze flesh on them. So instead of with the rend on all these shots, you're going to be doing. They're going to have 4-up saves, but if you get bronze flesh up, they're going to be on a 2-up armor save. They're on a 3-up armor save anyway. They're so good. You guys can look at the lists in the chat. But in just seeing what everyone else in the chat's saying, by the way. Vlad's Workshop, I think he's one of the only people who's rooting for Khorne. Everyone else, oh no, the Hobby Hobo is also rooting for Khorne, but Defunctor, Jabs, Chris, Stinky Steve are all rooting for the Chariots.
And that's how it
And
should be, right?
yeah,
Who wants to
absolutely.
root for Khorne over all those chariots?
Yeah, the Chariot gang. But also look at the board spread. It's a good point from Chris in the chat. Look at his control of the board. Like he's
Yeah.
scored that top objective. He scored that. He's got bodies in the middle. Like he's got a lot.
So
And
he's
the
not going to score on turn 1, is he? But he's going to have at least held.
He's. Well, I more mean, his board presence, like his spacing on the board.
Yeah.
He controls huge portions of it. And don't forget, there's a Knight of Zeros. There's Knight of Zeros somewhere. But what I mean is, he's there. There is a Celestant Prime up in the sky, ready to drop down in a moment's notice. So, if he pushes these Blood Crushers out and again leaves Scarbrand or the Rage, the Bloodthirst of Incense Rage at the back, you might end up with a Celestant Prime fight. And I wouldn't mind watching Scarbrand versus a Celestant Prime, personally.
Yeah, the Prime's another interesting one, isn't he? He's almost like a Bloodthirster. He's like Sigmar's chosen hero of the world, the mightiest of heroes, given the mightiest of weapons, and he's got 8 wounds.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah,
every time I see one, I'm like super strong, super ace, but literally is a
Skinky
glass
Steve.
cannon.
Sorry, not Stinky Steve. I was like, that is a weird choice of a username, Skinky Steve. No, but he's like a Bloodthirster, just better, because he's got better armor save, he's better in combat, he can deep strike, he can shoot, he can change a dice from one dice to the other. Now, this is not me ragging on Bloodthirsters, but...
It should be.
It should be. But this, look at this Dreadlord on Black Dragon. He's threatening the counter charge wherever things happen.
Isn't it funny that Dreadlord on Black Dragon looks just like the Witch King from Lord of the Rings?
Exactly like that. Yeah, but the problem for there he is, the Witch King. But the problem for the Khorne force is I feel it has no women in its force, and as we know, the Witch King can be killed by no blade of man.
Right, it's true. Do you know what? Actually, I've just gone super in close, and actually, I think it is actually an old Dark Elf model. When you're super in close.
Well, like a Malekith.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And it's flying.
Oh, it's probably the one from Total War.
Yes, that's why it looks so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah, there we go. And for some reason they haven't put Scourger and Chariots in Total War, which is just a shame. Or maybe they have, but no one's ported them over into the game yet, which is sad. So we're into the shooting phase, I assume.
Yeah,
now, James.
And we can see some Blood Warriors just getting shot to death.
Here, unit hitting on 2s, and then because of the Hawkeye trait, wounding on 2s, which is just insane, right?
Yes. So we're basically trying to delete. Oh, there we go. So there's 4 hits on those Blood Reavers. So he might not be able to delete them all, but I'm guessing most are going to run. I think they're Bravery 7, are they, Blood Reavers?
No, that sounds high. Let's go for 6. 7 sounds high. What, for lunatics with their tops off, just bathing in blood?
I mean, unless you're a Stormcast, everyone else is 10 now, right? Unless you are the chosen of Sigmar, you're not that scared.
Do you definitely know that if you're killed, you'll come back to life? Bravery 7.
Probably pre-scared.
So look at that. That unit is gone. And I think, to be honest, this is Tim's game right off the bat, just for bodies on the board. Greg is really against it, which is a shame. Because I love this Khorne list. It's just a shame he's up against such a polarizing, stupid, dumb list. But it's great. The other 2 meme lists that are at this event, there's a meme list full of salamanders and there's one full of sharks.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see both of those 2 play. I think it's going to be great. Reavers are Bravery 5. Yes. Told you.
Oh, okay. So there was, in theory, 1 Reaver left in that top right, but obviously they just did the Battle Shock in advance because there's nothing there to make them pass.
It's true. It's
And
true.
he's obviously not going to charge.
And that's so far. That's just the shooting from this unit on the far right.
Yeah, so that middle unit, so the purple unit shot one of the big gun at the second unit.
Oh no, the unit of Blood Reavers. Okay, so
What
now
the
he's
hell?
going to be. Yeah,
Oh, they are warriors.
I wonder if he's going to start shooting at the Skull Crushers. I'd be tempted to. I'd be
That's
really
where they're
tempted.
going.
Okay. Because that's an incredible unit, FYI. Like Skull Crushers and Blood Crushers got crazy reductions last GHB. I'd be interested to see what happens with them because we still haven't seen them much on the tabletop.
Yep.
I will see what happens with the new GHB. But with the Khorne book, they got big reductions, and you can take a lot of both. The Skull Crushers are really, really good when you give them. They're much better in a fight than the Blood Crushers, but they're a bit more expensive. But you can give them that bronze flesh, give them a 2-up armor save, and then you can get them in a fight, and they're okay. They're not great, but they're okay. But they can impact hit you like Billio, which is cool. It's just there's no retreat and charge in the Khorne book, which is such a shame. Because if they
Khorne
had
shouldn't
that,
retreat though, right? Because he's boring.
no, you're right. Khorne shouldn't retreat, but it would really make those Skull Crushers and Blood Crushers better. But we don't have that in the book, so they've really got one shot to do some wicked damage, unless for some reason their opponent falls out of combat, which is just a shame. Also, a good point by Lord Wynn. The Skull Crushers though are bravery 6, but the Blood Crushers are obviously because they're demons bravery 10.
Right.
So
yep.
actually affecting the bravery of those Skull Crushers is actually huge. Really important to make sure that they don't take too much damage, that they'll have a 5 wound model run off the board.
Yeah.
So chariots to win, says Wills. Everyone's making the bets. It's looking pretty good.
It's all looking chariot-sided as well, which is the way we want it to. Well, the way I want it to be.
Oh, you really want the chariots to win?
Yeah, I really hate Khorne. There's nothing else for it. I also feel like Khorne's one of those armies when I have to play it. And the nicest way against the people, so the last event I played, I actually played a really nice Khorne guy. Every time I get Khorne, there's a little part of me that's just like, oh, it's going to walk forward and try and hit me. And that's it. That's all it's going to do.
It's pretty much all it ever does. But I think that there are some Khorne builds which are like, I would maybe have Scarbrand not in this list and then have 10 Knights as well. I'm not sure. But Scarbrand's so brilliant, but it's just the movement. And if we see what we're seeing with this Tempestai list, look at that. The board presence, the movement, the speed is just phenomenal. It's just all across the board. Oh, of course, that's why the Black Ark Fleet Mass is the general. It makes the Chariots battle line by having as the general. There you go. That's what we're seeing here. So, Wargaming Dad, there is the Blood Tithe. So, and that's really important.
A terrible model in combat.
What?
That Black Ark Fleet Master.
Oh, yeah, that Black Ark Fleet Master is one of the worst. He's 60 points. There's almost nothing that's 60 points. This one isn't even true to the real model. He's only got one leg. Not saying people with more... I'm going to stop
the real one only has one leg, doesn't he? Hasn't he got a peg leg? He's got a real leg and a peg leg, hasn't he? The real one?
He's got a real leg and a peg leg. But as we know, anyone with peg legs is always dangerous with shooting attacks. We just need to remember that from Oscar Pistorius. Yeah? Loves a shooting attack.
Whatever happened to him? That's what I want to know. Someone find that out for me.
Yeah, if someone could find out, that would be great. We're still in the shooting phase. I'm assuming. Look, there we go. We're starting to see some wounds put into the skull crushers there. Here we go. Okay.
Struggling to do much damage to them, I think.
Well, they've got great armor save, but look at that. The Reavers.
He's lost. I think that's the interesting part now, isn't it? He's already lost like most of his board control.
He has, yeah. Like, he's down to very little straight away, which I think is the right decision, right? I think it's the right decision. Grinaldi makes a great point in the chat, though. Why does a fleet admiral, a pirate, make chariots, squadron of chariots battle line?
Because aren't the chariots like little boats?
They are. If you actually have ever looked at the Scourge Rider chariot, it actually doesn't have 2 wheels. It has 1 wheel in the center of the model. So it's actually not technically a chariot as defined on the Honest Wargamer. Some of you might not have been there for that podcast, but we effectively went through all of the chariots in Age of Sigmar, and there's a pretty easy definition. It needs to be pulled by something and have 2 wheels. So a flaming chariot of Tzeentch, not actually a chariot. It's more of like a boat or something. So the actual best chariot in Age of Sigmar, weirdly, is the corpse cart. Pulled by something, 2 wheels.
Great chariot.
Great chariot. Just a really, really good chariot. This isn't actually technically a chariot. It's a horseboat or something similar. So, Age of Sigmar. It's a wild, wonderful world.
Maybe we should call it a land ship. Do you remember that? That was a great model.
That was a great... I mean, these chariots are flying backwards.
They're reversing.
So propagation. So the Iron Blaster is a chariot. Correct. Scott, it's pulled by something and it has 2 wheels.
Yep.
The definition of.
It's a
unicycle. Imagine being beaten by an army of unicycles. That's what we're facing here.
Pretty much. So they're basically just working out if he's charging.
Okay, so we've got some narrative from Sinful Gaming in the chat, who's a great guy. It says they are boarding skiffs. The wizards of the privateers on their ships trap other ships with ice magic and ride these chariots across ice bridges to board enemies.
Oh.
How cool's that?
That is cool. I can't believe someone actually knew that. Well done, whoever that was, sorry.
Sinful Gaming.
Sinful Gaming.
Great guy. Great guy. Great
guy, great list.
No, terrible list, but he loves Scourge Privateers.
Excellent. So we are now moving to the corner.
I mean, that's a pretty commanding position already. Unit of Blood Reavers done. Unit of Blood Reavers not done, actually. Like Blood Warriors, sorry. So there's Blood Warriors there, so a little bit tougher. These Blood Reavers, they'll take a Battle Shock as well.
One left.
One left. So it's
Which
just Slaughter Priests.
Doesn't want to run because of Blood Tithe, right?
No, I don't imagine. Maybe we're just going to see him just go all in. So the important... No, he wants more Blood Tithe, to be honest. That's what he wants.
Yeah, but do you get it if they run away?
Yes, because it counts as slain. It counts as slain. So Darren Lee with our Oscar Pistorius update. I really appreciate you, Darren. Oscar Pistorius is still in prison and made friends with a Czech gangster that is in prison for murder for hire. There you go. Who Last time we did the live coverage on TTS, we found out about the national birds from different countries.
We did? Oh, I forgot that. I didn't send any abuse to Finland or whoever stole our swans.
Oh, Lord Wind's in the chat. Like, don't worry about it. It's been a flame war for like 2 weeks now since the last tournament. I've been ragging on swans for 2 weeks. It's been right. So it's definitely going to see these this Khorne unit charge. It's going to be it's going to be they do impact hits basically. But can we also just remind ourselves that these Scourge Rider chariots, they've got +1 save right now because it's the first turn for Tempest Eye, but they also have got 6 wounds each. So there's 18 wounds in each one of those units. They're not light units.
Oh.
Like, they're just...
So we're doing a blood boil.
Oh, okay, good. D6 mortal wounds. Bam, 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 bam.
2 wounds came off.
So let's work it out. What is this? 18, 36, like 36, 60, 72 wounds. Another 36 wounds here. Yeah. So 108. 100
a lot of wounds.
It's 126 wounds, I think, on quick math, are in chariots. It's a lot. That's like a standard army. I mean, it is most of his army. Not forgetting there's obviously the Black Dragon here, and like something between 120 and 160 is like, I would say, the average amount of wounds in an army. Yeah. And we still got the Celestin Prime who's off the board, ready to deep strike. So there's a lot of wounds. Oh, look at this one Blood Warrior. What's he doing?
He's going for it. I think the best thing about that is there's a chance he'll probably tie those chariots up for a turn with their combat ability.
What one? This is the bravest blood warrior in the land. He's like, screw you.
He's
in
real
your
Khorne.
boats. He's not even facing the right way. Come on.
It's all right.
Just-
He's not bothered.
Huh? Turn him around.
He turned-
Turn him around. I can't turn him. they've taken my permission to turn things off. Oh. He's just going
Have
to
they
face back.
actually?
Oh, no, wait, don't worry. He's dual-sided. He's facing the right
There we
way.
go.
He's facing the right way. But the chariots aren't. They're not going to know what hit him. It's going to be terrifying when they get into close combat. Bam! Look at his axe. Oh, here we go. Here's the blood
Okay.
crusher, skull crushers.
So I always think so the impact hits on Skull Crushers, does each individual model have to be within a certain range of the unit they've charged, or
Yeah. So it's after a model in this unit makes a charge move, you can pick one enemy within 1 inch of that model. Yeah. And then on a 2+, it suffers a mortal wounds. If you've got 6 or more in the unit, though, which he obviously has, as we've just looked at right there, it becomes D3, which is why that big unit of 9 is quite so scary. Or, as we've talked about on the show a lot of times, if you've joined us for the Honest Wargamer, Age of Sigmar shows in any other capacity, we've talked about the impact hit, not meta, but the game. Like we've had Sam Morgan on talking about impact hit armies. We've had Owen Jackson talking about impact armies. I've been talking about it, or we've been talking about armies that produce damage in the movement phase. So good examples, obviously, are the Pterodon riders that we're now seeing in. For Seraphon, they've got the ability to do loads of damage. You've got Tempest Eye, Gyra Bombers, you've got Flamespire Phoenixes, you've got Blood Crushers and Skull Crushers, you've got Chariots that we saw being played by Ellis the Menace the other week, which was amazing, doing all their impact hits as well. You've got Sinesh Chariots. The Exalted Chariot for Sinesh is unbelievably scary on the bit it charges, which is really good when... because it does damage in a phase where you're not expecting. So this obviously doesn't seem like much now, but if you could imagine a line in front of these blue and green chariots, if you could imagine a line as a screen, so you could charge. So the mechanics in Age of Sigmar are quite fun. So you could charge, do the impact hits, and kill the screen. And then the rules are for piling in and attacking are if you've charged or you start the combat phase within 3 inches of an enemy model. So what you could do is charge, kill the screen with the impact hits, pile in and do your attacks into the next unit. It's why we see we see Stonehorns doing that when they do their big impact hits on when they charge for the whole ogre book. It's a super cool mechanic, and it's also one you don't see a lot, and it's also really nuanced, so you can try and use it really well to your advantage sometimes. In this situation, it doesn't really apply. It's just going to be additional damage into the units they're hitting, but it's also a great way of, like, imagine if these Skull Crushers just charged a monster. They might just kill it just from the impact hits. So the strike back isn't a big deal. So it's quite fun.
Yeah, I think impact hits, like, they're an interesting one, aren't they? I think, and like you said, because they're not realistically the meta, people expect them less. So people kind of counterplay them less, I would say.
Yeah.
And so it can be almost like a hidden strength, can't it? I think.
Oh, very much so. Very much. It's also hard to play against as well. In the right situations, there's loads of examples of it in books, but it's like, I mean, much better damage is the shooting that we're seeing. You know, move, shoot. So like you just project, and like they're not in combat, but it's still funky, man. It's still funky. In combat though, the Skull Crushers are really awful. Like, really awful. They got 3 attacks each. They hit on 3s. They wound on 3s. They got no render to do 1 damage. If they've got the axes, if they don't have the axes, they hit on 4s, they wound on 3s, but they do have rend of 1. So you get about 6 attacks out of them, but with no rend, which is good into the Scourge Runners because they don't have a particularly good armor save, but they're terrible into armor. So you've kind of got like half and half. Right. Anyway, oh yes, and they've also got 1 inch range. Really good point. So they can't reach over their enemies, even with lances. But we're joined right now by our infield reporter, Antio and Thatcher's Drinker. Adam Mumford to tell us what's happening in the rest of the tournament. Hi, Adam. How you doing?
Hi, is you alright?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, man, it's going well. Seems to be going right. Apparently, all the games are a little bit boring right now because escalation takes a little while to get going. But a few interesting things have happened so far.
Please tell us.
So I'm personally very interested in Benjamin Sava's shark list. So I'm gonna start with that one. He's just gone into his first turn, and I have a feeling he's going to do quite well. His boats have just absolutely exploded into the Skaven. I think he rolled like 3 6s to do the mortal wounds to all his stuff. So it's just like, oh, here, have D3 mortal wounds. Oh, this unit's taking D3 mortal wounds. Oh, your army's dead. Oh. So his boats are doing all the work, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting. The Skaven didn't manage to do a lot in their turn because they're out of range of a lot of stuff. But yeah, that's only on turn 1 at the moment, so I'm going to check back on that one in a minute. Table 16, you've got Obeyed Salamanders going into Ossiarch Bone Reapers. They've just gone into Obey's first turn, and he's not really managed to do a lot with his Salamanders yet, because the OBR player has managed to screen out quite well, so that they might not do a lot, but they're just about to go into the shooting phase, so that might all change. And then table 15, you've got Matthew Goldsborough, the 2-time champion, and he's actually having quite a hard time. He's not confident in that game right now, and he's
really?
playing
How come?
He's playing into Ossiarch Bone Reapers, and he just admitted to me that Ossiarch Bone Reapers are one of his games that he just really struggles with that army. So he's not that confident right now. He fluffed all his salamanders. They did basically nothing. So yeah, it's not gone too well for him there.
Okay.
Wow. On table 11, that was that's Kharadron Overlords versus Sylvaneth. I know that's a game you were relatively interested in hearing about, and it's lucky you didn't stream it because absolutely nothing has happened.
I'm just going to have a quick update from our table, just very quickly. All those Blood Crushers did 10 mortal wounds.
Is that it? Just 10?
Yeah. And the guy that's playing them's just cried a little about it.
I mean, that's
Brilliant.
really bad, because it should be 9d3 mortal wounds, effectively.
Yeah.
Drop 1, 8d3, so it should be like 16 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was that, oh my god, this is terrible, it's done 10 mortal wounds.
Yeah, Wargamer Dean says, did I just hear the words salamanders did nothing? That's got to be lies. What's going on?
You did hear that. I think that by the sounds of it, they sort of came down and just fluffed their rolls and managed to do, barely anything by the sounds of it.
Amazing.
So, not gone too well. But yeah, the KO versus Sylvaneth. Matt took his first turn, or he had first turn with Sylvaneth, and basically just went, here's some trees, you'll go.
Wow.
And that was it.
Wow.
So the KO player has just gone into his first turn and has done his fly high to sort of get his guys into range for shooting, but he's not going to be able to do a lot because the Sylvaneth are hiding in their trees, so they won't be able to shoot.
Okay.
Sounds riveting.
It does sound riveting.
Yeah, Matt's just playing the game where he goes, I don't really want to play this, so I'm going to stand back and wait for you to do everything.
Well, but I think it'll be fun to maybe check in on... I mean, we've got our 3 meme lists for the day, but hopefully our meme list plays the Sylvaneth list, which is also another meme list, of course, because Sylvaneth are a meme.
And also Matt is a meme. So.
Yeah.
The last game that I had a quick look at was the Slaves to Darkness Archeon list versus Nighthaunt.
The Nurgle one, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the Slaves to Darkness are having a whale of a time, to be honest. The Archeon's just been having fun smashing up some ghosty boys. Just running around going, you're a ghost, fuck off. And then the Nighthaunt player had his turn, charged a unit of Hex Wraiths. He got that 10-inch charge so he can fight twice, basically. And by the looks of it, didn't do anything with it.
I mean, aren't Hex Wraiths terrible?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh.
They're not great. They're not great.
They're okay if you try really hard and you're against a terrible list.
And if you're a nice guy.
Oh, well, that's a bit of a shame. Also, Adam, this is the third tournament now that Adam has organised, the second one that we've streamed, and Adam's been doing a great job. But most people in the chat won't know that Adam it can only really run tournaments if he's powered by Thatcher's Cider.
This is true.
But he's actually run out of Thatcher Cider at the moment because being in lockdown and being off work means he's not got the money. So if anyone wants to donate some money to the show so that we can send him some money for Thatcher Cider, I'd appreciate it. But don't feel you have to. But it's just a big call out.
No, you do have to.
Because Adam's been doing that off his own back for free for the community. And I think that that's awesome. And normally there'd be a ticket price on an event. But you're not charging, are you? You're just organising it off the good of your own back.
Well, I don't want to charge people for something while we're all sat bored, you know? And I'm not really putting out any money, so I thought, fuck it, we'll just make it free and let people have fun.
But you've spent a lot of money on Thatchers. That's the main problem. But
I
yeah,
have spent way too much money on Thatchers.
I think we really should talk to Thatchers about sponsoring the TTS tournaments.
Oh, that is a genius idea.
I think
That is
we should get on
genius.
that.
I'm going to email them later.
No, tweet them right now.
Tweet them now. I can't really put stuff like that on my Twitter.
Oh, okay, don't worry, we'll sort that.
Because of my teaching stuff. Sad times, right? I've got to be relatively sensible on social medias.
Boring. All right, we'll sort that
I
out.
know,
We'll
right?
tweet 'em. Yeah, if everyone could tweet Thatchers and Adam, which is a Gotrek boy on...
I changed it last night, actually.
Oh, did you? What, too?
Yeah, man. It's a Trollslayer Adam. So it was a little bit easier for people to find.
Okay, so to Trollslayer Adam. So if you could do that, just tweet Thatchers and say he needs a sponsorship. That'd be great. Anyway, so into this turn, the Skull Crushers have done a good job. If they get the double turn here, they're going to be into the Black Dragon, the Azeros, and the Fleetmaster all in a go. That's a pretty massive turn.
Yeah, so they actually perform better in combat than they did on their mortal wounds, believe it or not.
Oh, but he's got to, he's going to want to keep that Scourge Runner Chariot in. He's going to want to spend a CP. If he's got one, he has got one, to make sure that Scourge Runner Chariot doesn't flee so that this unit
there you go.
stays in combat. But there is a cheeky couple of blood boils happening potentially over here from the Slaughter Priests. I wonder how many wounds are left on that chariot. That's the real question. Or 2 wounds left. He's either taken 2 wounds or he's got 2 wounds left. But if they could blood boil him off so he takes the mortal wounds, then in the hero phase, then the Skull Crushers are going to be free. But he should also be rocking up those blood tithe points. So he's killed another unit. So that is another blood tithe point. So not got enough yet. I don't know. I think it's 4 points to fight in the hero phase. But I'd have to remember. War Mill, £1 for every model I've painted, I think he said. It just came up. Thank you so much, War Mill. You're a legend. Adam, you still in the chat? No, he's gone. Okay.
He's too old. He's gone to watch tables.
Well, we've just got $18 sent in for him.
Nice.
Nice for him to buy himself some Thatchers. That's enough for a crate of Thatchers, isn't it?
Probably. They're just not that expensive a cider.
Oh, is it not? Is it? You telling me Adam's not a fancy lad?
No, apparently not. We're going to the priority roll.
Oh boy!
Doing it in the middle of the table.
So it's red for the chariot, red for Khorne, and it's white for chariots. White have scored a 4.
And the chariots are taking priority. What a surprise.
Oh, and the chariots have won the turn. This is massive. So the Black Dragon's going to be able to go into the Skull Crushers and just be able to... Now, just a quick tip for everyone at home. You guys might be great Warhammer players and don't need help from me. But one of the things that you don't want to do is take the Black Dragon here and put it there into the center. You want to take the Black Dragon and stick it just on the edge. So you can't have all these attacks piling into you for no reason. So you want to fly over here and then get into there. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Some people might not do that, but he's got to. This is actually not terrible for Khorne because all of these chariots are still going to have to hit into the Blood Crushers, unless they're still going to have to try and kill them. Which means in the next turn, the Bloodthirster and Scarbrand could be hit in the midfield.
I think unless you go completely the other way, right, and just decide to take out the 2 Bloodthirsters and tie the Blood Crushers up for the rest of the game.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. He just wants to hold on. He hold on to them, right? Doesn't he? Really. And then, but the Blood Crushers are going to do their job, I think. And then, then the big boys come in and start doing some spanking.
Oh.
Unless he attacks with the Black Dragon and does all the shooting into the Bloodthirsters, and Scarbrand. That's probably the right answer, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. So. Oh,
Hold on,
so he's
Chris.
going straight into movement phase.
We also can't forget the Celestin Prime. Good point, Chris. There's also the Celestin Prime to come down, land in the backfield. Yeah. And
Just
we might
chilling.
get to see that. Yeah, we might get to see that Scarbrand versus Bloodthirster fight, right? That we've been dreaming of.
Scarbrand versus Prime, not Bloodthirster. Unless they're turning on each other.
I think it's a tough one for Khorne to come up against, but he could roll badly. that's never what you want.
I like the fact that that's what we're down to.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's got a lot of saves. The best he's getting through with these chariots is he's taking. Did he get bronze flesh on the Skull Crushers?
Yes.
Okay, so the best, the rend one that this unit's doing is getting through to a 3-up armor save. So he's saving most of the damage coming through. The problem is they also do mortal wounds on 6s to hit, so they could potentially be doing mortal wounds into that unit as well, which is going to get through a lot better. But I don't know. It's a lot of wounds in that Skullcrusher unit. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, think there's a lot of wounds in that unit. I just think they had a really good round of combat, and unless they've charged, they're not that fighty. So actually, if you could drop everything else that's on the board, you could just sit and give them a cuddle for the rest of the game.
Yes. Yeah.
I think to me that's the problem, because what he could do is give them a cuddle with one squad of chariots without the mortal wounds. And in theory, they've then got to do 21 wounds if he's tagged one side. He could drop the Celestian Prime behind them, commit them a couple of times. If they look like they're going to escape, charge him in, finish him off. I just don't know how. I just don't think he has enough models left on the board anymore to do anything, right?
Yeah, I think that's the other problem as well. Is he's going to need. He needs Scarbrand and the Bloodthirster to simultaneously take out the Black Dragon and this center part, and he also needs to take out all of these individual units. And as we discussed, It's 18 wounds per unit, so that's a big ask. The only real bonus you got is the Boom Thirster here. So affectionately nicknamed the Bloodthirster of Incessant Rage. He's got an ability where if he 6s to wound, are going to do everything 8 inches are going to take mortal wounds. So if he gets the Boom Thirster into the middle here, he can take out a significant portion of the force. But Scarbrand is too slow. He's never going to get over to fight these chariots, and there's a lot of them. And then that's still not dealing with everything in the middle. It's a really tough one. I feel really sorry for Greg and the Khorne force, because it's just like these polarized lists are funny. Like, they're really funny when you play against them and you see them, but they're also pretty obnoxious in the right setup, right?
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see, isn't it? Like these, like we were just saying a minute ago, like there's almost, I don't know. There's just no way of kind of combating. I don't think this random 800 quid list is there. Like, it's not something you'd normally see or think about. And also, like, there's just so many wounds. Like, something offensive about having a high wound army.
Yeah, and it's also really bad in certain matchups. Like, Fireslayers on objectives would just like laugh all day.
Yeah.
Because it's just not enough output to get through them.
I mean, you'd have a bad day anyway because they're boring. But
yeah. So Trisky in the chat says, big up Trisky, and big up to anyone who's joined us live. We'll be doing 2 more rounds after this in this one-day tournament, if you've never tuned into us before. We're also live every day, talking either Age of Sigmar or 40k, and then we have 2 dedicated shows, both to Age of Sigmar on a Monday and 40k on a Thursday, as well as, I would say, when actual tournaments happen, being the best group of live coverage experts in the world. So, so that's just for our new people. Drisky says, our Gloomspike Git's a good army. I've been thinking about starting Sigmar and like the look of their models. Yeah, bro, they are good. They're really hard to use, though, if you want to be, like, ultra competitive. But they're also a really fun army. And you'll learn some really good skills with Gloomspike Gits, because a lot of their abilities are you have to stay wholly within 12 inches or 8 inches of a character to get buffs. So, but they're not the top tier. I'd describe them as being in the middle tier of competitiveness, but the top tier of fun, if that makes sense. So I hope that answers your question. But you can always go on the Honest Wargamer website, so honestwargamer.com, and look at some of the lists that have been written there, and some of the guides that have been written to see what sort of lists you might be interested in taking. Did I get bumped from the #1 spot? Michael Bennett, you might have. Yeah, there are some people who are going around playing a lot of Gotrek at the minute, which is really, really fun. I just want to say that we have a lot of that we have lost the stream streak on YouTube. Sadly, I cannot access Twitch from work. Oh, Chris Rocks. Okay, I'll sort that out. Chris Rocks, appreciate that, and I'm sorry. I'll reinstigate that. I was worried I was winding the YouTube community up, to be honest. James, where we at? So if you guys have just joined us, by the way, we're in turn two on escalation. So there are the objectives, and we are seeing Cities of Sigmar take the first of turn 2.
Basically, we're seeing some Scourger and a Chariot shoot, but like there's 2d3 mortals coming out of that one. So I think like what we're gonna see is 5 mortals into the Blood Crushers. I think what we're gonna watch is those Blood Crushers just collapse at this moment.
5 mortal wounds into the Blood Crushers already from the first round of shooting.
It might have been the second. He's basically just keeps.
Can we talk about? Can we talk about him putting the Dreadlord on Black Dragon exactly where we didn't want him to put?
What he dropped was the Blood Warriors.
Ah, interesting.
So I guess it's just about freeing up that side of the board, right?
Yeah, I think just anything that could potentially score at this stage it's a smart play. And again, shooting into the Blood Crushers is, especially when he can fight it with the Dreadlord and Black Dragon. Again, can we talk about the fact that the Dreadlord and Black Dragon isn't in the right place? He needs to be on the flank, right?
He's ballsy.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, why would you just fight all of the models when you could just pin the side and fight some of the models?
I have absolutely no idea.
Because he's really fast, the Dreadlord and Black Dragon. Maybe he's just like, I'm super stupid. Yeah, and he also hasn't dropped down the Celestin Prime, has he? He hasn't put the Prime down on the board, so...
Turn 3 is the optimal place to put a Prime down, though, still, isn't it?
Yes.
That's still the point where you get the amount of tax you want, really, for the cost of the model, I think. Because what he should be able to do at that point is shoot something, charge something, wipe it out.
Yeah, do you want to tell us what that means? Because some people might not know.
Sorry, yeah. So the Celestin Prime is Sigmar's like main man. He's got Galmaraz, the Hammer of Sigmar. And basically, when he starts a game, he starts off the board, and for every turn he's off the board, you gain 2 extra attacks. So for the amount of points that you basically pay for him, you want him to have, I think, is it 7 at that point? Starts with 3, gains 2 a turn, 2, 4, 6. So you'd have 9 attacks, sorry. But he's 3s to hit, 2s to hit, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, -3 range, which is pretty huge, 3 flat damage. But he can also swap a dice. So he's, unless you roll a double 1, guaranteed a charge. Oh no, cool. He can change his charge to whatever he wants now, can't he?
Yeah, he can.
He can always charge.
Sorry, can we just talk about the fact that a hammer has got rend? Like, I'm still just like always blown away a little bit by weapons choices. Do you know what I mean?
That's accurate though. I mean, it would be bludgeoning, wouldn't it? Because you can technically smash through an old school metal helmet with a hammer, because you'd smash the metal into their head.
Oh.
I guess it wouldn't rend through, but it would bludgeon. But then we'd have another stat. So
I quite want a bludgeon stat or a daze. I want to daze someone. Yeah. 6 to wound makes them a bit dazed. They're like, oh god, I'm so dazed right now.
Use an attack.
But why doesn't an axe have rend? It's a great question. You know-
What axe though? Because we got to get complicated, right? Because some people's weapons are rubbish, and some people's weapons are good. Like a lot khaki. I don't know. Like the stats are harder, aren't they? Because I think like even if you look at Warhammer 40,000, still there's like weapon skill and ballistic skill, and obviously when they made Sigma, they made those kind of easier, didn't they? And less complicated. But part of that is that it means that the weapon matters more, I think, because
yeah,
what they're taking into basis with the weapon is the person and if they're strong and blah blah blah.
it's true. It's true. I guess the rend is all over the shop as well, especially if we look at the new skinks. As Anzo says, they've just got rend all over the place. But they are firing magic bolts of, and I don't really know what the historical implication of magic is. I just know that if we see a witch, we measure to see if she weighs as much as a duck. That's all I know about magic, really.
Or you dunk her. So you dunk her and you leave her under the water, and if she can breathe underwater, she's a witch. If she drowned, she was a good pure virgin.
Oh, good. Okay. That really makes sense why I drowned all those women.
I think you're just a psycho, but okay, great.
And yeah, super armor piercing headbutts from Gargants. I think that it's probably not worth questioning. But Rend 3 anyway. And the fact is, it's a 330 point model on the board, which probably will be able to take out either Scarbrand or Bloodthirster, which we're waiting to deep strike somewhere on the board to take this game. But as we're seeing here, the Dreadlord on Black Dragon has done some. Is this all of the shooting over now?
I think we're still shooting.
Wow, we're still shooting, and we've started to lose some Skull Crushers. So he's obviously started to target them a little bit. So we started out with 9, and we're down to 6, which is pretty huge. Again, these guys have got a 2-up armor save. Sorry, say that again.
Most of the ones we've seen die to mortal wounds, basically. And we're just for the record, we're still shooting.
Wow. The Citizen Prime gets to change both dice on the charge. I think that's right.
Yeah. So when he charges, so if for anyone that hasn't seen one in a while, when he was first released, he could change one dice that affected him. So it could have been one of your charge dice, one of your hit dice, one of your wound dice, one of your sign dice, save dice, etc. When they rewrote his War Scroll in the newest book, what loads of people I think missed if they didn't play Stormcast or didn't own one is they changed it to be specific roles. So rather than kind of saying change one die, what it basically says is that what you can do is change a role that affects the Celestin Prime. So one of the choices is a charge roll. So it's the whole roll rather than one dice from it. Which makes a big difference.
Makes a big difference. So anyway, let's look at this. We're waiting for this. I think we're still waiting for the shooting to come through. But these Skull Crushers, like I've said, 5 wounds each and a 2-up. There we go. He's taken one of those Skull Crushers out of combat now. There's another one dead. And their bravery, again, as we've stated before, not the highest, as you would expect. So a 2-up armor save. 2-up armor save. Do you reckon that Tim is going to win the whole event? That's because, again, if you've just joined us, Tim's friends have offered to pay him, pay for this entire army to be bought and built for him.
That's the craziest bit, right?
That's the craziest bit.
Spend a load of money. You're also going to build the bloody thing for him.
Friends in exclamation marks.
Yeah, we need more. I need more friends like that, right?
I know those are great mates. By the way, if anyone's interested in these maps, Grinaldi, I just seen you ask. So you want to type in Tyler, not Tyler Mengel, he's the other one. Tyler Emerson is the one. That's the map you want to search for in the workshop. So those are all the ones been put down. And I really like these maps because they've got laid out deployment zones, objectives, they've got the dice rollers, and they have these little bags with like the 6-inch objectives that you need here. You can go in here and you can grab some endless spells and drag them out, some terrain and some faction terrain. So they're pretty great. Great map for playing on. and just, it's really good in lockdown when I've been in this room now for 75 days. I mean, I've left and gone home and come back, but I've been nowhere else in 75 days. It's really nice. I feel like I'm escaping into Warhammer again, which is just my favourite thing to ever do. It's just so fun. And again,
I think that's the crazy thing, isn't it? Like, everyone's been locked somewhere, whatever that looks like. And hopefully, for everyone that's listening, you're somewhere safe and you're somewhere that you enjoy and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, like, everyone's locked up. And, like, I always think of myself as, like, some weird, like, a bit of a house-proud hermit. So I like my house and I like living here. And there's just me. I live by myself. But, like, I'm so bored of my own company. And I'm so bored at looking at my own house. So yeah, like, it's nice. This is the second one we've done, isn't it? So it's nice to kind of almost feel like I've escaped for the day, even though I haven't.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I feel like I have. Like, I feel it feels decent. But yeah, I can understand your feelings. So if you guys are just joining us, we're seeing Khorne versus a what was it again? 24 Scourger on a Chariot list in Tempest Eye. It's a cool Khorne list, but the Tempest Eye have got priority for turn 2, so they've had 2 turns so far against Khorne's 1. Khorne gave the first turn away. Then the Chariots pushed aggressively into the midfield. We're seeing shooting still going into these Blood Crushers who are sat on a 2-up armor save, waiting for the Black Dragon charge.
The charge phase. So that Black Dragon is charging.
Okay, so the Black Dragon's going to go in. And then really, Khorne are going to get their turn. So both of these two Bloodthirsters are going to be able to deal with the Black Dragon. And then if they get the priority roll, they might be able to go into all the other units. But it's a big ask.
So my problem is really that even if he gets the priority roll and those Bloodthirsters, even let's say cleared the whole board, they can't clear the whole board and take the objective, at which point I think the Prime will pop down, at least kill one of them, and then he's got like a lot of running around to do to even do anything.
Yeah, loads. Yeah, it's really uphill for Khorne, but it's not impossible. Not impossible.
Oh no. There's a chance there.
It's very slight though. Slim. It's very slim.
Isn't that what Khorne likes? Slim chances.
Slim chances and murder.
Decision. Oh no, wait. He's bored.
Why wouldn't you make the Bloodthirsters faster? They've got giant wings. Just make them like missiles.
They're trying to pull all those muscles, aren't they? Because of all the damage they don't do.
Just make them movement 16. Give them 10 attacks. Yeah, and give them a 5-up armor save and be like, Bloodthirster. Terrifying. Yeah, it'd be like, but as soon as you hit them, they die.
Too many roids. That's the problem.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. Yeah, and all the armor they do not have. Yeah. I mean, if you compare them to a Vermin Lord, why has a rat got a 4-up armor save and a 5-up ignore? A rat versus... anyway.
Sneaky.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sneaky, what he's actually doing is wearing armor under his fur. You just don't know about it.
I'm going to start the hashtag justice for Bloodthirsters, which is not something I would really think that I would have... I want them to be better. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, the Dreadlord on Black Dragon has gone into these poor Blood Crushers, but the Dreadlord on Black Dragon's got some okay attacks. But at the end of the day, there is that 2-up armor save to get past, which is really quite unique. It's quite rare to see that, isn't it?
Unless you're a Bastiladon.
Unless you're a Bastiladon, but then it's even better. Yeah. So Dreadlord Black Dragon has got his breath attack, which is fine, but the Fearsome Jaws is the one he wants to get through. 3 attacks. They hit on 4s though, but he's currently unwounded, so they wound on 1s. But don't forget 1s are always a fail, so that'll never go through. Ren 2 doing D6 damage. So we've seen one more Skull Crusher go down.
Okay. So the dragon's done all of its attacks. Sorry, we missed
okay.
Even the exciting ones.
So Stuart Hastings says, would Khorne have done better to have taken the first turn and run to the centre of the board? I don't think so, because he
just got shot to death.
Because to be fair to Tim, he made a smart play. He shot off all the screens and the things that zone out. Truthfully, I mean, what he could have done is and don't forget you have to start quite far away. Is he could have put the big monsters right over on the left hand side, like against the wall. Maybe have taken the blood crushers and stuck them to the same, and then use the blood crushers to run out and screen a little bit as he tries to roll around the flank, and then kind of go bottom and then into the center eventually. But all that would have happened is Tim had to start some of his models here. He would have wheeled round. So these chariots would have been where they are. He would have just been 6 to 12 inches further on the left. Yeah. And why that's important is I feel some of these Scourge Runners wouldn't have shot into them, so you'd had some more of those Skull Crushers live. But he wouldn't have been in a much better position. Maybe had a couple of Skull Crushers left, but I don't think going first would have done anything. He maybe could have run his screen out, but then the screen would have got shot, and it would have been harder for the slow units to get there, I think. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's an uphill battle for Khorne all day in this game, all day long. But we can see that he's used the CP to keep the Skull Crushers alive, right? There's some mechanic. Yeah.
So he's given the Bloodthirst +1 to hit.
Ooh, here we go.
And the Skull Crushers +1 to their save.
Oh.
Both were successful.
Here we go.
I think he's basically trying to blood boil, but he's out of range of everything.
Damn it. Oh, that's a shame. Look at Scarbrand again. Would have been so better to have dropped him down and had anything other than Scarbrand. He's awesome, Scarbrand, but he's just too slow. It just doesn't work. Unless you can play Scarbrand if you have a lot of bodies. Like if you have a lot of bodies, because then you can control the board space better. And what I mean by that is you would have a big blob over here of dudes. Because this chariot army would actually be pretty rubbish into a horde, I think.
Oh, terrible. Because they don't do enough damage. They do okay damage, and I think they're good at like sniping out single units, but they don't do tons of damage, do they? Like 40 Marauders would take probably them all day to chew through, I think.
It wouldn't be the easiest thing, no, you're right. Like, I mean, if you targeted them with every shot, I guess if you brought all the chariots to bear on one Marauder unit, maybe you take it out. But just bodies would just mean you could screen, put things out more quick, more board space. So it would have been awesome to have seen some more bodies. But this is also a really rad list, the Khorne one. It's just up against a particularly tough matchup. Look at it, everything's in now. The Bloodstoker's in. All of the
sort of chill. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, is he moving
his whole 11?
Is he going for the double? Is that the plan?
I'm guessing so.
We got the priority roll coming up, so I think we're going to be looking for the double turn here. He's going to try and put Scarbrand into all of this. He's also run the Skull Crushers away, because if he's going to be able to get them out of combat, and then... Oh, wait.
Oh, no, so the Skull Crushers didn't need to run because he managed to remove them 3 inches away, sorry.
Okay.
So they've actually just moved, so they can still charge this turn.
Right, okay. So, and we saw the Bloodthirster use the Blood Tithe points to move in the hero phase, and then move again in the movement phase, which is how that Bloodthirster's got so fast. Which, again, that Blood Tithe mechanic is really good. Like, being honest to Khorne, it's really, really good if you get the option. And there we go, there's the charge. There's the charge. He's into the Dreadlord and Black Dragon. Now, it's going to be really important, this big Boom Thirster, because he's going to be looking to do all of the mortal wounds in AoE.
Yep.
That's his plan. And then just basically take his axe and smash it from the heavens, right? Oh, and the Blood Crushers are in as well. Okay, it's not looking too bad.
All the fighting.
It's not looking too bad.
Yeah, he might be able to take... He should take that centre objective back, I think. Well, no, maybe. Depending on the mortal wounds, I guess, that come out of that Bloodthirster.
Me and Grinaldi couldn't disagree more about them changing the priority roll in the next GHB. In any way, shape or form.
Sorry, what did I miss?
Grinaldi said he wouldn't mind. He wouldn't mind if they change or remove the priority roll in the next GHB. But what's nice is you could always just play a tournament where it's not there, or you could just play some games at home where it's not there, right?
I think that's one of my favourite rules.
It's my favourite rule. I think it's the most important part of our game, to be honest. It's awesome, but obviously everyone's allowed an opinion. So and there are ways to play it. But I love it, and I think it dramatically changes the shape of this game. Because in this situation, Scarbrand is so up against it. By the way, in a game where you go, I go, Khorne never win this game, not once, not ever. Like, there's no way, because the chariots can just always guarantee the ranges they're going to be.
Yeah.
So there's just no options. But in a chance priority situation, changes the shape of the game up drastically and makes Scarbrand viable. So
I think there's
it's
just
great.
so many times in Age of Sigmar where you're like, oh, I'm out of the game, and then you're like, oh, I've just double turned. Oh, I've won. Oh my god. Like, it's just so exciting. Like, I think it just adds another level, for me anyway, adds another level of excitement that wouldn't normally happen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, so but anyway,
No.
but we do have the double turn potential here for Scarbrand, and Scarbrand getting in here would be great to get into these chariots. Otherwise, he's dead. He's gonna get shot off the board.
so the Axe dude is currently fighting,
Oh, the big boom thirster.
so he didn't get any mortal wounds in that last lot. Nothing.
Oh no! So we've been building up to this big bloodthirster to do some damage, and he's done nothing.
Well, he's done damage, so he's killed a lot of. Well, he killed 2 chariots.
That's not
Okay.
bad.
Activated him twice, so
Oh,
he
yes.
spent the standpoint for that.
Okay, so he's looking
Oh,
for
here we
sixes now.
go.
1
There we go.
6. Ah, heartbreak that it's only 1 6. If he'd have got a load of 6s then, he'd have been doing mortal wounds for days. But I guess there's the Squadron of Chariots. What's their bravery? Bravery 6? If he's killed
Yeah.
2... It'd be fun if he's also picked it. He's got to be disappointed. Look how many dice he rolled. I think he rolled 10 attacks. To only end up with 1 6 to wound in that situation is pretty heartbreaking. But, you know... Oh, yes! The fight is on, James, in the bottom left-hand corner. 1 Blood Reaver is in combat with some Squadron of Chariots. Can he do it?
The hero that Khorne needs.
This guy's a legend. He saw all of his tribe shot off the board by harpoons. Like, literally, as long as he is, yeah, impaled all of his friends, pinned to the back of the board there, and then he's gone, I'm going to go and beat those guys up. How dare they? They've killed Terry and John and Pete and Franz and Steve. Yeah, they're all dead. I'm going to get them. That's what I'm going to do. But he hasn't got them at all.
No.
I don't
The
think
chariots are piling in
Woo!
into blood crushers.
Reaver strong. Someone find a breastplate stretcher. Is this Bobby B? Is this who we're looking at now? Is this King Bobby B? In his better days. Gods, I was strong, Ned. I'll lay an axe on this fella and this fella. I love a good bit of Bobby B. And all.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Big
Do
fan.
you not?
Yeah, he's alright.
You don't like Bobby B? What's wrong with Bobby B?
I'm a much bigger SEB fan.
SEB? Who?
That was a Game of Thrones reference, right?
Yeah, it was a Game of Thrones reference. You not
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I'm a big Stannis Baratheon fan.
Oh, right. Stannis? Wow.
Yeah, he's an arsehole. So, if anyone's ever read them, he's an arsehole in the TV show, but in the book, he's great.
Okay. All right. That's very that's an interesting take. I always preferred Renly, obviously. I'm such a Renly.
You are a Renly. So my favourite bit about Stannis is, which I think is missed off the TV show, is that like in the book, everything he does, like 90% of it he doesn't want to do, but he's supposed to do it, so he has to do it because he's like old school knight. So he's just like, oh, I don't really want to do this, but I've got to because life. Love that.
And unfortunately, the books will never be finished. But
No, never. But
never
it's fine.
ever. That's fine. That's fine.
I know the end now.
Oh, okay. So to find out what's happening in the rest of the tournament, we have been joined by the TO and our infield reporter, Mr. Adam Mumford. Hi, Adam. How you doing? Oh, or did I not bring him in to the chat?
I don't know.
Did I
You tell us.
I thought I tried to add him in. Hold on. Let's add him in.
need like some elevator music for the moments when things go wrong. I think during these.
My soundboard's busted.
Uh,
I know.
I think you were overusing it. I'm guessing someone's probably broke into the studio and broke it because they hated it.
Did you hate it? Oh,
no, I think Nathan maybe Nathan broke it.
Did Nathan not like it?
I don't know. No idea.
Oh wow, I feel honestly really upset about that. It's the soundboard's the most fun part of the stream.
It's the best bit now, is it?
Oh, it's better than me talking. Look, come on, let's all
What
be
about
honest.
your charming tones?
Come on, if we're all interested, if we're all being serious for a moment, it's obviously not me. It's just the soundboard at this stage. I'm trying to get Adam into the chat. Anyway, what's happening in the game?
We are currently just basically. So there's just a load of chariots basically just piling into blood crushers and doing nothing.
There's a lot of dead chariots. Look at the shape of the board right now. If Khorne get the next turn, it's a massive swing back.
Oh, I don't know. There's still a prime, isn't there? I think that's the problem. There's still a prime and the dragon hasn't fought. So I think that's a big thing.
The prime is the best.
Yay! Hey! So with the update from what's happening in the rest of the tournament is Adam. But Adam, before we do that, I just want to say War Mill has donated $18 to the show for you to buy yourself some Thatchers.
Oh, what a babe.
I know. How nice is that?
What a hero. That's like a whole crate.
Anyway, we'll get that money over to you later. What's been happening in the rest of the tournament?
Well, I just had a bit of a panic attack because my internet just died.
Oh, no.
Like, completely died. And it was like, you have no internet. So I nearly, that was a little bit scary. But the big news, I've got quite a big update actually, is on table 11, the Kharadron Overlords versus Sylvaneth.
Yes.
It's become interesting.
No way.
It has. The Sylvaneth are actually in a really strong position.
Wow.
It looks like they might win it at the end of turn 2.
Oh, I mean, you say it's got interesting. 2 turns haven't even happened. That's the slowest game ever, huh?
This is also fair. To be fair, most games are on turn 2. But yeah, so Alariel has given herself +4 to cast by sitting still and casting Throne of Vines for 2 turns. She's unleashed all that power into Metamorphosis and rolled a 14 to cast it, which means she does something like you roll 14 dice, every 4 plus is a mortal wound. She looked at a gun hauler and went, yeah, get off the board, mate.
Wow.
So she just one-shotted a gun hauler. He managed to get some spites into his back line and killed 10 Arcanauts with 5 Spike Revenants.
Incredible.
That was mainly due to Battle Shock.
Oh.
Because he only killed 3 of them. But that meant the Arcanauts were failing a Battle Shock on a 5 or a 6. And then he minuses 1 to that because he's Spike Revenant, so they were failing on a 4, 5 or 6. He rolled a 5, so he was losing 2. And then because of his battalion, he adds a D3 extra ran away, and he rolled a 3.
Oh no! So he just took out the whole back line. Just
the whole back line.
Wow.
He's managed to pin pretty much everything into combat, so everything has to basically shoot what's in combat with it. And yeah, it's not looking good for the Kharadron Overlords.
That is pretty crazy. A win for Sylvaneth could be
potentially.
Huge.
It could still go to the KO, because there is still a few turns left. But I think he's got to pull it back quite a lot.
Amazing. It's sad. It's great for Sylvaneth. Sad for the KO, but we're all kind of at this stage hoping that it's working. Big up my man Elf Bro in the chat. Chariot spam, my boys. He just loves
Chariot
it.
spam for the win.
Chariot spam for the win. What about the other tables? What else is going doing?
So on table 13, you've got Chris Caves Jr. versus Antu.
Oh yeah, big matchup.
So that is quite a tense matchup over there. You've got, I think, by the looks of it, it's going to be Chris Caves' game, because he's just managed to kick the shit out of Antu's army and basically has all the objectives. Well, I think he's got 2 Bastiladons in his list. They think they do extra damage against Chaos Demons.
Yep.
Flat 3 damage.
Yeah, so they've basically just shot everything off the board. There's no pink horrors left. All the pink horrors are gone. By the looks of it, all he's got left is a Lord of Change and his Kadai.
That's not going to be enough.
End of turn 3, I think.
Oh, and the Vermin Lord is dead as well.
I think. Oh no, I think the Vermin Lord's still alive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not a lot left at all. What's the other game that was quite interesting? Darren Watson's versus Zinch list. I can't remember his name. The Zinch with all the flamers and the chariots.
Yes. Oh, that's a great list. Really fun.
Yeah, so it looked like the Zinch were going to take it out because he managed to basically kill half of Darren's army in turn 1. But if the Zinch got the priority, it was basically his game. But Darren managed to win the priority and has killed every single flamer in that turn. So it was swinging to Zinch way, and now it's swung all the way back to Darren's game. It's quite close. It's quite a cool game. And the last game I had a proper look at was the Obaid's list with all the Salamanders going into the Ossiarch Bone Reapers. And it was just about to go into the Seraphon shooting phase when I last looked at it, and it looks like the Flamers or all the Salamanders are going to be able to shoot everything off the board. But they might not.
Oh,
and
yeah. I guess they might not, right?
To be fair, the catapults that the OBR player have got have been doing a lot of work. They've basically just been deleting a unit every turn, like each. So it's still a tight game. I think the Seraphon are probably going to take it out, but you never know. He could fail all his rolls again.
Okay, well, that's really fun. And any update on the other meme list? We've obviously been checking up on the Salamanders. The Sharks, are they doing quite well? Or
so
not
I had a
sure
quick look into the Sharks, but I didn't get much from that table because they were still in turn 2. So I was going to check back on turn 3 when the Sharks go off.
Yes, because in that turn, all the Sharks are going to get all the attacks and always strike first.
But let's be honest, they're not going to do anything because they're Sharks.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. Thank you for the update. And it's War Mills that donated some beer money towards you, so big shout out to War Mills for doing so. What a hero. James, back into this game, if you guys have just joined us, we've seen all of these combats. I think we've just seen a priority roll. Am I right or am I wrong?
I think we were still rolling Battleshot, but I might.
Oh, okay.
Here's the roll-off. Here's the
roll-off. The roll-off is coming now for... Look at this. Chariots. A lot less chariots than we did see. It's pretty big.
Also, that dragon did no wounds to that Bloodthirster.
Four rolled by Khorne. And four rolled by Cities of Sigmar, meaning that they get the choice, and they are obviously going to take it. Otherwise, Scarbrand is going in here. But it's still not looking like super safe for them. This Bloodthirster's only taken... Oh yeah, it's prime time, baby. But this Bloodthirster's only taken two wounds. Scarbrand's taken none. They've only got these chariots. These Skull Crushers are holding this objective. And look who died.
Yeah.
The Hodor of the Blood Reavers.
He was not the hero Khorne needed.
He's not the not the hero that Khorne needed.
He was hoping to be turned into another Bloodthirster, I heard.
Wargamer Dean says,
and then he realised they was shit.
Where can I find this OBR list with catapults? I think it's just 2 of them, bro. Just take 2 and the soul guy, so you get soul guide, and reroll 1s. That's the future. That's how you do it. That's pretty massive, because I honestly think at that stage, Gregor had this game. He could have won it.
Yeah, I think, especially because I think if that Bloodthirster, so the big axe Bloodthirster had taken more damage or died, it would have made a different game completely. But that dragon basically fluffed everything.
Yeah, he did.
Whereas now he's just going to get... That Bloodthirster is just going to get shot up.
Which is, it's a tough situation for him to be in, right?
Yeah, and I think the sensible thing is to drop the prime behind.
What, to drag them away instead of fighting on the objective? I mean, at this stage, maybe he needs to just fight on the objective. But he just needs to punk Scarbrand, right? That's all he's really got to do.
Yeah.
And then he secures this element of the board. Or maybe not even punk Scarbrand. Maybe he could shoot Scarbrand off and he could just punk the Skull Crushers. But he's going to have to he'll have to come in from this angle, from the centre up, as opposed to from the back, because obviously these have screened out a lot. So it's not the easiest to get to them, but I think you're going to see... and Scarbrand also doesn't fly, mainly because years ago he tried to actually bury an axe in Khorne's head. He tried to take over from Khorne, and then because of that, Khorne ripped his wings apart, so he's never able to fly again. That's the mythos.
I mean, that's a fairly fair punishment if someone tries and kills you, right?
I think, ripping your wings off?
Yeah, I think
so.
you didn't kill him back, did he? God.
No, that's true. That's true.
Maybe that's the issue with Khorne. Maybe that's why he's boring, because actually he's not as scary as people think.
Well, he's really fair with his punishments.
Yeah, he's just like, you tried to kill me, no flight. I mean, eels do that all the time anyway, right?
Yeah, that's true. Eels just do a prayer. They're like, no flying for you, baby.
No fly for you. And that's Khorne's greatest punishment, apparently.
Oh, he didn't rip his wings. I'm sure he did rip his wings. I'm sure that was the storyline.
Oh.
That's what I read. Well, anyway, that's what I think. So if a wasp or bee stings you, then you rip its wings off. Probably not. I don't
is it
generally
trying to kill you or just cause you damage? I mean, there's a difference. But we know who could be Khorne now.
Yeah. This is going to be pretty tough now. These chariots are going to charge into Scarbrand, aren't they? They're going to take the wounds off him. But they're not charging. They're going to do their shooting. So, I mean, Scarbrand's still... I don't know. It's going to be interesting where the prime comes down. I think you'll see these three chariots shoot into here, into this Bloodthirster. This chariot and these chariots are going to have to shoot into the Skull Crushers, if they're going to shoot anywhere, because they're locked in combat. So it's going to be interesting on what they do.
I think it's going to be a hard life, I think, for the Bloodthirsters the Khorne to come back, I think, now, all right?
Yeah, I mean, they're set on for 3 Blood Tithe. So maybe something to start thinking about is summoning Bloodletters, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think we're going to see that happen.
How many is it to summon Bloodletters? Do we know?
I can't remember.
I think it's high-ish, right? Is it 8? Or is that a Bloodthirster?
No, 8's a Bloodthirster.
Okay, so maybe 6-ish. I mean, you'd rather have the Bloodletters, right?
Yeah, in this situation, I'd rather have the Bloodletters. Mainly because I want to put as many down on the board as I can every time. Because they're just, fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
If we're honest. Okay, so we're into the... which phase are we in, James? That's the real question.
So he's still moving. He's just measuring up where that Azeroth is going. So he's retreated from combat, but he's basically given everything still +1 to hit, but keeping the buff.
So Justin Bedford says that Khorne is your buddy who keeps buying you Jaeger bombs, then gets pissed at you when you buy him a tequila. Justice for Scarbrand.
Agreed.
That's the best description I've ever read.
We should keep that. Let's put it on a shirt.
Yeah, put that on a shirt. He sold that to me. So the Black Art Fleet Master is running away, so he's looking to get the +1 to wound on these Scourge Runners, and the Azeros has also moved. I imagine he's within 10. Yeah, that's the plan. So he's going to be re-rolling ones to hit against his Bloodthirster. So looking to get him.
Here he comes.
There he goes. Where's he going? Over there?
No idea.
Oh, so let's go see where he goes.
Oh.
There he is, the Celestant Prime. So he has to land 9 inches away. Maybe they also just rolled the charge, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's putting him down and moving him 9. Putting him 9 inches. 8. Oh, you got a bit more, bro. You got to go a bit more.
Yeah, way more.
Uh, one big difference is, Darren Lee, between 40k and AOS Demons is that in AOS, Khorne has gotten off his throne and is personally leading the invasion of Sheesh. He's had enough of Nagash in his magic. That's true. That's true. The Chaos Gods in 40k are a lot more like ephemeral. They're a lot less like personally involved. But then in 40k, there's a lot less like actual gods. Even though the God Emperor is sat on a throne, in Age of Sigmar, the gods are very real, and they even have models. The Goddess of Life is currently playing on table 11. Like,
And she's not that good.
She's not that good. Yeah. She's not even that good.
Here goes the shooting.
Okay, we're into the shooting phase now. Let's see if Khorne can survive. I'd like to see them survive. I don't think Scarbrand will be the focus of the shooting then if the Celestin Prime's going in. But I think we are going to see this Bloodthirster go down, Scarbrand go down this turn. And if we do, then that's pretty much game for Khorne. All their big threats have been taken out. But it's been pretty hardcore. Cinderfall Gamer says the Hallowed Knights inflicted a wound upon Nurgle himself. So yeah, so the gods are a lot more interactive in Age of Sigmar. They're a lot more part of the milieu of the story as opposed to 40k, where they're more hands off. But
It's because they haven't got guns.
yeah, that's true.
Why would you want to get involved?
Yeah.
Also, I guess like randomly in Age of Sigmar, there are gods with models fighting, right? Whereas in 40k there isn't any gods.
Say that again.
Well, there's no gods, is there, in Warhammer 40k?
Yeah,
The non-fighting. Is there?
In 40k, well, the Chaos Gods exist. They're inside the.
Yeah. But what I mean is, so on the table in Sigmar, like Nagash is roaming around, Alariel's roaming around. They're all gods.
Yeah, there's no models of gods. No.
Yeah, so in 40k they don't get to fight any other gods, do they? So maybe they're just like, oh, it's not worth my time.
No, you're right. There are no actual. Oh yes, no. So sorry. Thank you very much. The God of Death actually does exist. The Eldar God of Death. The Incarn. Is it the Incarn? But yes, there is one. The Eldar God of
Pretty
Death.
model in like a swooshy thing.
Yeah. Yes. It's these coalesced souls of all of the Eldar gods, and then the Catan. I don't know if the Catan are gods. Are they? I actually need some more lore on that. The Khan is the Avatar. There we go. Anyway, we'll try and move on from 40k, just because James only wants to talk about 40k at the minute.
Whoa! I was just discussing gods. So the Bloodthirster's dropped to 9 wounds. Scarbrand's still on 4.
Okay. What's in the shooting fires? Shoot fires.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the shooting I think has happened and not a lot has gone on. So the Bloodthirster's down to 8.
Well, it's very apt that we talked about 40k during the shooting phase. That makes sense.
Yeah,
that works. There we go. So the Rage Thirster here has gone down to, so the Boom Thirster here has gone down to 8 wounds against the Dreadlord in the fight. I don't know how many wounds the Dreadlord's got left.
4.
Full. And Scarbrand's...
4. He's taken 4? I'm guessing that note.
Yeah.
Guessing that's taken.
Taken 4. And then the Scarbrand's taken 2. So the Prime's going in still. I think that's all the shooting that's done, but we'll see if there's any more.
We're still shooting.
Oh, okay.
Some little crossbows going up, I think.
So Loki says, but in AOS, no actual gods or models on the table. I'm pretty certain Alariel's the goddess of life. Sigmar's a god, isn't he?
Yeah, but he doesn't have a model. Nagash is a god. He's on the table.
Nagash is a god of death.
So Alariel, Nagash.
Teclis, is Teclis a god? God of light?
We don't know yet, I don't think, do we?
I don't think we know if he's an actual god. But he also sucks. And he's a giant failure and no one likes him. So.
Why? That's not very nice.
Oh, James. No one. Don't be an elf lover on this channel. How dare you? Don't love them elves. We've been talking about games almost zero. I'm so sorry, everyone. This is our first game of the day. We're just winding up. Later on, we'll be like more in the zone.
Well, I mean, I think so. I think the problem is really so compared to live coverage for anyone that's watched before. Obviously, we now do multiple tables, but I also think like tabletop simulator is a little bit slower.
Yeah. I think it's the
And there's not a
multi-table
way
thing as well.
around it.
Like when we do the multi-table thing, we just jump in between everything. It's so dynamic. So I guess this is fine. We'll slow our expectation. And
As long as people are entertained, we're happy.
Yeah. If everyone's enjoying themselves, let me know. And if you are, we'll carry on. Sometimes randomly talking about Catans.
It's also a learning channel.
Yeah, Croak is not a god, but he's much stronger than Alariel. Cryface. Agreed. Wasn't Teclis in the Order Pantheon during the Age of Myth? He was. So was Malarian, the unknown god.
Still shooting. So all the harpoons are going into Scarbrand.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Scarbrand. I think just trying to soften him up for the Prime to get him, right? That's the plan.
I guess so. I mean, what's Scarbrand save? Do we know? About 5?
Scarbrand's got a
4?
4-up save. He's Bloodthirster.
Okay. So
Basically
he'd
no
have
armor.
no save against the Prime.
I personally, I would just give all of the Bloodthirsters a 3. I don't know. They just need a better save. 4-up's not that good.
Or just make them way stronger. Or give them more wounds. Less save. Same save, more wounds. Actually scary.
Yeah, just make them scary. Make them scary. But this list is hilarious. Really fun list. All the chariots. Can't wait to see how it did.
The battle plan for Khorne as well, when your 2 big hitters start at the very back of the board, it's kind of rubbish, right?
Yeah, it's a tough scenario as well. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, on the 12-inch line, you probably would have still put all of your guys. You don't want all these chariots to just shoot at the Bloodthirster turn 1, I don't reckon, or Scarbrand. But probably this game doesn't go any other way at any other point. Unless this... I mean, that's not true. If we'd got the the priority roll into this turn, that would have been really rad to have seen Scarbrand go into these models here.
Yeah.
But unfortunately he didn't get the double turn. So now that's why we're seeing all these units shooting his Scarbrand and reducing him down to 7 wounds. Oh my
Poor
god.
Scarbrand.
Stamping says, friends, Blaze of Khorne is a power army or not? I'm a novice in Age of Sigmar, so Stamping, I would argue not. Lots of other people don't agree with that, but they don't do overly well at tournaments. You actually go onto honestwargamer.com and look at the stats done by the wonderful LLV and check out all the stats there, and you'll see that they are a pretty middling army, really, when it comes to tournament performance. So
I think they're one of those weird armies, aren't they, that people love? Like, people love the aesthetic, people love the army. And also, they're one of those armies that was in starter boxes, which I think makes a big difference to the amount of people that own it.
Mm-hmm.
Which also might be why you see it a lot. But people love him. I don't know why. They've got bad taste.
Agreed. So, Scarbrand now down to 3 wounds. That rage-filled demon has done nothing but move 8 minutes. Move 8 meters, and then is about to get punked by Gal Moraz in the combat phase. So not long for this world. The other Bloodthirster has only taken 6 wounds, but he's still in it to win it, if that makes sense. So here we go. Oh, it's a big.
Give them all the charges.
It's a big charge. So I don't know what he's going to be. Oh, it's going to be the Prime, right?
It's just changed it. Yeah. So he rolled an 8. He needed a 9. He's changed it.
So there we go. He's going right in. Okay.
Tag everything.
Tag all of them. Which isn't the smartest move, because double Blood Boil in a moment could kill him. But maybe he's going to split his attacks, only do a couple of attacks in Scarbrand, try and kill some of the Slaughter Priests as well.
I think, one going through to Scarbrand is enough to kill him, isn't it, now? Because he can't save it. So if he's a 4-up save at -3, he's taking 3 flat damage. He's got 3 wounds left. So he only needs to get 1 hit and wound through on Scarbrand, and he's dead.
Yeah, I think I'd put 2 or 3 in just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, he should have 9 attacks, I think now. So you could quite happily put what 3 into Scarbrand.
I'd put 5 in because you want it to
5.
happen. Yeah, you want it to happen. Like 4 is pretty guaranteed. 5 is 5. 5 it's going down.
At 3s and 2s, you put 5 in.
Mhm.
Oh.
It's a game. What you want to do is guarantee the win, right? Especially as we're all remembering, Tim is playing for this army to be bought and built
That is
for
true.
him.
So I do keep forgetting that. I'm just like, oh, it's just Warhammer, and then I'm like, no, this guy's got £1,000 riding on this.
Yeah, I would be like, I want the win, and those slaughter priests can do some good work. They're fine, but I just want Scarbrand dead. But you're right, 5 is probably too much, but I only need Scarbrand dead to maybe win the game. So, can you split attacks from single weapons? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You just have to nominate beforehand. And
We're
painted.
just working out where he's attacking.
We'll see how many. 2 extra, not 2 for each turn in reserve on his war scroll, says Chris. So there's you don't get 9.
Okay. The one's going into the slaughter priest. Or we're going into Scarbrand. So
How many?
they've changed it to 4. 4 into Scarbrand, 1 into the slaughter priest.
Told you. Like 4 or 5.
I forgot they changed his war scroll again.
So 4 or 5. See, didn't I call it? I was basically like 5, 4 or 5. Just deleted, just smoten from the earth.
Just melted into the grass.
Oh, he got crushed. Which means though that this Bloodthirster does get to attack at the bottom.
Yeah.
So like that's there. But look at the board presence now, and these Skull Crushers like getting swamped. But the Skull Crusher's still alive, still taking it on the chin. The Prime could come in. Did he also kill a Slaughter Priest? Also killed a Slaughter Priest. So we lost a Slaughter Priest and a Prime and Scarbrand. And now the Dreadlord and Black Dragon might lose. He's going to try and pile around because he's looking to get. If he gets any 6s, he's looking to do his mortal wound output on the units around him. Basically, so that's a clever little counterplay, and I like the idea of a Bloodthirster and a dragon just running around each other.
Yeah, just like with a janky.
No, mine's more like cowboy music, and they're like down. And he's just like cut to the eyes of the Bloodthirster. Oh, it doesn't look great at all. Can't really do that. And then cut to the eyes of the Dreadlord. Let's get the dragon eyes. That's what I'm expecting.
That's what's happening.
Wow. So, what will beat the chariot list today? That's the real question. Look at that! The Bloodthirster.
4 6s.
He rolled 4 6s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
imagine if he'd have done that the turn before.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. It's changed the shape of the game up quite a lot, though, isn't it? That Bloodthirster's still alive. You can go grab that bottom objective in a minute. Or come into the middle. Just boom again. It'll be Battle Boom 2, boom harder. If he gets the priority roll, no, it's his turn next, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Gets the Bloodthirster, moves into the middle, just rolls all the 6s again. Just Bloodthirster just winning just because he can roll 6s. It'll just be like boom. Although he only hold.
Yeah, so he'd need to summon as well, wouldn't he? But he might have enough points at this point because
he has 8 points. Bloodthirster 2, the Bloodthirstening.
He definitely wants bodies though if he actually is playing to win, right? And he can summon from the Aura Bloodthirster.
Character or Bloodthirster, I think.
Does it have to be a demon hero or any hero?
Any hero, I think. Any hero in the Khorne book. Unless I'm wrong. But one of the guys in the chat. Justin Bedford said, I like the city's army, but it'll cost you a kidney to build in real life. Justin, you couldn't be righter. That was huge. That Rage Thirster going wild was so fun. If he does it again, I am hype. Yeah, because like Oh, that's great. And that's why you tend to generally see the Khorne players spending the Blood Tithe points to make him double move. So basically, just make him super like
Yep.
keep him at the back of the board, and he moves 24 inches. And if you whip him with the Bloodstoker, you get +3 to the charge, and then you just go wild. You just hammer everything. Any hero or the Skull Shrine within 9, wholly within 9, and then outside of 9 of
Okay.
the opponents. But he could potentially put some Bloodletters within 9 of. Oh, it depends if it happens at the end of the movement phase or the hero phase. If it's hero phase, stick him at the end of the here, and then charge him in. Not forgetting that. So you might want to spend that on the Bloodthirster. You might want to spend that on some Bloodletters. But not forgetting, he could also use that to move in the movement phase,
Yep.
and get himself like right next to the prime. I mean, I don't think that's the right decision. I think at this stage, getting bodies to win the game, but that's maybe changed the shape of the game enough that it's going to be a win for Khorne. Like maybe if
If you can do the mortal wounds on the prime, he's got nothing against them, has he? So
yeah, he just gets whooped, just a big whooping. That's the easiest way of dealing with the Celestant Prime is just to mortal wound him off the board.
yeah.
But that easier said than done when he doesn't start on the board. He's still just a great ally in any army, right? The Celestant Prime.
Yep.
And we've seen him take
Which
it, but he's now against it. Him versus Croak as allies. So it's a bit of a toss up at the moment. A lot of people can't really choose between one or t'other.
Yeah, I guess he fights better than Croak, but Croak brings all that extra magic, doesn't he?
And command points going
Yep.
out of fashion. Like he brings command points, he brings magic, he brings anti-magic, he brings board-wide mortal wound damage. It's just let's go. JJ number 10. If anyone's interested, JJ, who is a great Age of Sigmar player and a legend, and thanks for subscribing, has just started making some Total War Age of Sigmar Warhammer Total War content on his YouTube channel, and it's a really good laugh. You should check it out. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
He's also up against one of my favourite people in the world, Mr. Ewan, who's just a dude. He's just a dude. And also, thanks for following Loki. Appreciate that. Big love to you. Big love to everyone joining us live. Don't forget, we've got 2 more rounds of this today. So we've got... this round has got... How much has it got left, James? Can't be long.
It's 12:30, so I think it's imminently over, right? 10,
Oof.
10. Is it? What time do we start? No, we started at 10 to 11, 12. We've probably got another hour, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay. But we'll put the times up for the next round in a bit, for whenever the next round is going to be.
However, I'm not sure. I'm not sure there's much left to move or play with in the game. So
Well, yeah. At Moonturn, it says it seems almost done anyway. I would say that, but it was until he went crazy with the Boomthirst, and now if he does it again...
I think yeah, the Khorne turn's gonna like matter in a huge way, right?
Yeah, because all you do is you take the Bloodstoker, you run, yeah, you summon your Bloodletters at the bottom, grab that objective, run your Bloodthirster up into the middle, not run him, move him, sorry, but then charge, wipe everything out in the middle, and then you score in the bottom and the top objective with like nothing that Caesar's Tim can do. And then you got the priority roll, and if you get the priority roll, you just go wild. You just go kill those chariots, and then go kill the prime. Yeah, you just living your best life. You've won the game. It's so close.
Could Tim lose 800 quid here
Yeah.
on game 1?
Well, obviously, no carrots and hummus for you yet, Rob. That is my lunch. James, what's your lunch going to be? Everyone else, what's our lunch going to be today? Mine is going to be whatever is available at the shop very quickly when I run there for lunch. I didn't prep very well today.
I've got some leftovers from last night, so I've got leftover mac and cheese, so I could have that. Might make a sandwich instead. I think there's something weird. That's the weirdest thing for me for doing these from home, is that I actually eat decent lunch.
Yeah.
So weird.
It's
not a usual tournament thing.
No, different tournaments we've been like in a queue for the worst veg burger of my life.
I think, yeah, the worst had to be an event in London that we went to where we queued for a veggie burger that wasn't actually the colour of food.
Oh, is my intern Matt as in is intern Matt on Twitch my intern Matt as in my guy? Because I love that
I
guy.
don't know.
Yeah, if that's my guy, if that's my Matt, I love
What
you.
happened to him?
Well, the Rona happened and we haven't seen each other in 3 months.
And how's his college going?
I think it's going far. It's me! Yes! Hi, Matt. Oh, I'm going to send you a message during my lunch break. We'll ask him. His girlfriend had to go back to China, but then the Rona happened. I don't think she could go back. So, he's great.
Mad.
He's great. Anyway, that's never mind. Where we at, James? Please keep me on track.
They're getting through combat. Not a lot has happened. Let's be realistic. The Blood Crushers didn't do a lot. The Chariots killed 1 Blood Crusher, I think. And the Slaughter Priest is now fighting the Prime.
Oh, why? Why didn't you run him away?
It's still combat. We haven't had the Khorne turn yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's go. Yes. Okay, great. I love that Matt. I love that Matt, the intern's Twitch handle is intern Matt.
Did you make him get?
No, I
Did you make him get
didn't.
Twitter?
That's
Is
just
that
the best bit. That's the best bit. If anyone wondering, Matt came on board to help with the live coverage when we started doing Sheffield Slaughter and some of the other events, and we had a great summer lined up. We were going to travel the world doing coverage, and then I've been in the same room for 80 days. It's the worst. Anyway,
Just think of poor Matt. Like, he interned to travel the world and do Warhammer coverage, and now he doesn't get to do anything.
yeah.
Although he's avoided seeing you all summer, so I guess, win-win.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. Ferris says, I love TTS tournaments. It's so much cleaner and you know what is going on. I think that's the reason why War Games will never get a one-on-one adaptation of video games. It probably... I mean, to be honest, I think the great question that we can... Well, not the great question. The great point to make about tabletop games... And it's got better, right? Like, mats have made everything better instead of Rumble battle boards. We've got like objective markers, we've got like sticks for measuring, like so many like different solutions that we've come to make the on-board experience better. But for me, there's something better about playing a game in real life. It feels more visceral, it feels more alive. Like, this is fun. And it's already a leap of imagination, so it feels easy to make a leap of imagination to computer games as it does to miniatures game. But there's something about it being your models. You know, you've picked up your guys, and they're your dudes that are battling it out. I don't know how you feel about that, James.
I just think, so for me, I think, like, it loses, and I know people will disagree, and that's cool, but I think for me, it loses, like, the personality. So, yeah, it loses that, like, my models, your models. It loses, like, the attachment you've got to a model. Like, I'm terrible. Like, sometimes I'll take a model out of a unit that I shouldn't, because the other one's painted nicer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm that person. And, like, there's been so many games I've had that I've lost, fairly early on. And I'll still play the whole thing. And I'll play to be annoying. And I'll play for the kind of excitement of one character. And I think, like, for me, this kind of online kind of environment for it seems to lose that, because I don't think you can see, like, the person you're playing and communicate in the same way.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got Khorne turn, and he's openly just admitted to his opponent that he's playing for a double.
Oh, there we go. Easy peasy. Oh, wait, he's taking the Bloodthirster there. No! No! I suppose you could just put another Bloodthirster here, can't he?
Yeah.
Whatever.
While playing for his double.
Yeah, while playing for his double, but still, no! I wanted that specific Bloodthirster, because he's the one that's good. He's the talented Bloodthirster that's rolled all the sixes.
Maybe you'll clone him.
Captain Andrew says 100% with you, Rob. I've been holding off on TTS. TTS really does do the scratch the itch, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, and like, it also gives you a good opportunity to just chat to your mate and talk some games through and understand it. Like, it's just not a bad way of playing.
I think Yeah, I think for me as well, like one of the other things, and I guess it depends, like without trying to get too deep, like people's personal situations. But there's one of the joys of Warhammer is like it's slow and methodical, I think. And so being able to just like sit and play a game for 3 hours with someone has that joy because you get to sit and chat to a mate for 3 hours as well.
Yep.
So if you're missing Warhammer, I think it's a good filler. I just think what I'm trying to get across is for me it's not a replacement for the actual game.
Yeah.
If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
And also the actual environment.
Yeah, the environment, the game, the excitement of physically, like the amount of people who now are like, oh, I don't need to roll dice anymore because I can get this app that does it, and it's like it's not the same. Like if I've got 90 attacks, I want to roll 90 dice.
Yeah, it is fun when you physically engage. But it's also good to practice lists while you're painting up models. I think that's a good point. So I think it's going to be in the future a great side tool for all of us. Anyway, getting back to the game, he's summoned on the Bloodthirster. There we go.
There we go. Oh, snap, Bloodthirster. He's a bit,
Yes.
bit keen.
So here we go. So there's the other Bloodthirster who's come on, who's going to try and clear this objective in one go, which is going to be pretty important if he gets it. So if he gets the charge this turn. So here's the charges. Okay. So don't forget
Bloodthirster first.
There's another priority roll coming up. So that Bloodthirster is in.
Yep.
That Bloodthirster is in. So
here we go. Needs a 9. It's going to re-roll.
Oh! So he's a double 1. That's the most like you're not getting it off we've ever seen. So that won't be in there. So now you're going to resolve a bunch of crappy attacks over here. Trying to keep those Skull Crushers alive. That would have been really important if he got that. He might have been able to kill all of these chariots. Then in the next turn, go and take that back objective, and it would have been game. That's really big for Tim. Defunctor also wants to double up. It says, I find it entertaining to watch TTS Warhammer, but it's best played with miniatures. I don't think there's anyone who disagrees with that. I think we all agree it's better playing with miniatures.
I don't know though. I'm pretty sure the other day when we did the other coverage, someone said they didn't know why they'd ever go back to physically playing now.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I think it depends what you're after from the game, right? But for me, like the social aspect's the best bit.
Yes, I think so as well. And also, there's like, as much as I've got excited during some of these games, there's I don't know, there's something about being in the environment. Oh my god, look at that. 4 6s on his, I thought that was on his Bloodthirster then. There's something about the environment that makes it exciting, thrilling even. That's what I'd say. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting future. We are seeing the Skull Crushers attack here into the Scourge Runner chariots. So they're just trying to whittle down the numbers on the objective. But those Skull Crushers are still alive in turn 3, right?
I think that's the thing, right? Like if you look, like they've probably done more for the game than even that Bloodthirster that blew up and killed everything. I think, like, for me, that's the big thing.
Yeah, if this Bloodthirster got in here, I think they might have cleared this objective, and it would have just been these 3, and that would have been great. But we're not in that situation now, so now, to be honest, this Bloodthirster here could whiff, and it could just be all over, and he still needs the priority roll. If the priority roll doesn't go to Khorne, then they are, it's going to be interesting, actually, what we're going to see. I imagine that we'll see the Prime deal with the Bloodthirster, but he also is one of the best options for dealing with the Skull Crushers, right?
Oh, hang on. Oh, the horse has just kicked the Bloodthirster in the face.
Oh, really? He's done a wound? The Scourge Runner Chariot's done a wound to the Bloodthirster. Nice.
No. Not the chariot, just the horse.
Oh, just the horse.
The horse kicked him in the face. Incarnate Demon of Chaos, wounded by a horsey.
So Fiora makes a good point that also TTS is easier to see what's going on because you can be more adaptive with the camera, right? Like in a game, I wouldn't be able to do this, but that is something that we're working on when we do the live coverage. We have got better cameras now that are going to be able to do some of that, and as we start to move into having our own studios and not just having to travel with a car load of stuff, we will be able to bring you better coverage that is more intimate like this. I think so. I'm looking forward to potentially doing that in the future.
I think one of the things I miss most about physical coverage is kind of like that ability to look at models, to laugh about which ways they're facing, which kind of matters in this in some ways, but just not to the same level, I don't think. Like I miss the physicality of models, I think, and looking at someone's really pretty ones.
That's also true. Yeah, I think that's always really important. What's on this war game is a hot take on Nova happening for or not? They'll announce June 15th. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Events are going to event. They're either going to happen or they're not. I guess I've got my own feelings on it, but whatever. I don't know. TBH, we'll see. The new cameras were able to zoom in on TTS. Yeah, we were. So Skinky Steve, we were, and it was thanks to Matt the intern. If you're still watching, and Scrivo, where they were controlling all the cameras, getting us the hot shots. So if you do like the live coverage we've done ever, and you want to see that when the Rona breaks down, then you could always go and support us on Patreon, like loads of people do, and that helps us try and get new equipment. Specifically so we can do better games. Eventually we'll be able to have a very advanced set of cameras on every single table, and then we'll be able to do it exactly like TTS while also doing all the other stuff that I think is really important, which is rad, and I'm looking forward to that future. James, I know you are as well. We have great fun at events, right? Like it's hard work but great fun.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Like almost the bit that's most missed is that fact. And I know Adam's kind of roving around for us and coming back with updates, but being able to look up from a table and just see like excitement in the room, and that's the joy of priority.
Oh, here we go. Oh no, what's happened?
Look,
yeah,
to be Khorne.
We're into priority. It's gone to Tim, which means he's gonna get the turn. So the score update that we have there, because if we got the score updated, is that right? 6-1, right? What did Cities of Sigmar's Blades of Khorne score that turn?
He just scored 1. So I think what they're basically trying to work out is if Blades of Khorne can even come back now.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really hard for Blades of Khorne to pull this one back.
I don't think it's possible at this point.
No, I don't think so either.
6-2 by my count.
But the Prime's got an interesting choice, whether or not he's going to go and help and definitely finally kill those Crushers, or just go over and smash up that Bloodthirster.
I just took the Bloodthirster. I don't think it even matters.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it does either. So these Squadron of Chariots are going to make sure that objective is secured, and then if you just get these Crushers off, so that's all these Chariots to shoot into these Crushers who now don't have the +1 save, so they're on a 3-up save, take them off the board, and then the Prime kills the Bloodthirster. That just leaves him with 2 objectives versus the 1 going into the next turn. So it's pretty impressive.
He can't lose anyway, can he? So at the end of this, he's going to hold the middle. He's going to hold the top. So he makes it 8-2, I think, if the points are updated, which means he can't lose.
Yeah, he can't lose.
Yeah, because then at the end it would be 8-8 if he manages to cap all 3 simultaneously both turns, which I think is impossible at this point.
I think it's possible. So who's playing? You're playing Tim. I might be able to jump over if you guys are interested. Let me just make sure it's still working. Let me just check. Yes. So don't worry. We just jump into the list again. So these are the lists as they started. Hello everyone. As they started the game. We had Reapers of Vengeance run by Greg with his Bloodsecrator, Bloodstoker, Slaughter Priest, Scarbrand, and Bloodthirster from Incessant Range. Now, the Bloodthirster is still on the board and has done incredible work, but Scarbrand didn't even do a wound at all. The Blood Warriors and the Reavers all died early, and those 9 Skull Crushers are still on the board, but they also... there's only 2 of them left now in Gore Pilgrims. A great list when playing Seraphon, a terrible list though when playing against Tim's list, which is a Cities of Sigmar Tempest Eye list with the Fleet Master, the Dreadlord on Black Dragon, the Celestant Prime, the Azeroth, and then those 24 Scourge Runner chariots. So that's what we've seen play this game through. It's been really fun, but as you can see, the board is very much now in the Cities of Sigmar favour, with a couple of priorities potentially making Khorne win the game. So actually, on retrospect, it wasn't quite as much of a whitewash as I suspected, and those Skull Crushers did amazing work.
I think even like just when we look back to that first Mortal Wound output those Skull Crushers did, if that had gone better, I think even that could have been a turning point for the game. But it is, we're just still playing a dice game, aren't we? So those rolls really matter.
Yeah. Oh, it's Greg here in the chat. So Malekith's in the chat. He said, I had a few outs and I tried to play them, but all of them failed. Good game, though. I think he played a great game. Those Skull Crushers really showing that they can just stand in the fight. But yeah, just a couple of priority rolls and he would have... Well, just that one. Just that one with the Scarbrand would have been big, right? Or even this one. The last 2 priority rolls, he could have got it and been back in the game. And that's pretty telling. That's actually really cool. Yeah. But we are joined now by our table... Oh, not our table boss, sorry. By our infield reporter, man on the ground, and tournament organiser, Mr. Adam Mumford of the Trollslayers. Hi, Adam. How are you?
Hello. How's it going?
You are going to... Yeah, I'm great, thanks. How's the rest of the tournament looking?
Well, the Benjamin Sava just has turned 3.
Oh.
He won the priority 2-3, which is just with Deepkin, that's the one priority you want to win. It's game over.
Delete everything, did he? How did the Sharks do? Were you happy with the Sharks?
No, I'm not happy. They were actually quite good. So I can't be a salty fucker now, can I?
No, you cannot.
He took turn 3. The Sharks just went in and basically nuked all the Skaven and went, cool, GG, good game.
And I bet he didn't just nuke some of them. Did he nuke literally the whole army?
Pretty much, yeah.
Amazing.
It was just
6
like,
Sharks.
I'm not going to do anything for 2 turns, and now turn 3's here, cool, I win.
Amazing.
It's like, fair play.
Yeah, fair play, yep.
The Sylvaneth game, it's all gone wrong. So where I was saying it was all going very well for the Sylvaneth, I may have been building up false hope for everybody. And the Karajan Overlords managed to get the double turn, and basically all the stuff that Matt had done to stop the Karajan Overlords from doing, it all just went wrong. And apparently Matt couldn't make a single save that turn.
Oh no!
I think out of 30 odd saves, he made 2.
Wow. Okay.
So he's still in it, but it is completely swung, and it's probably ending up going to be the Karajan Overlords game, which is very sad for everybody.
It's sad for everyone. Because when you play Sylvaneth, you are playing a meme, so you're having a great time.
Exactly. So who's the real winner there? Table 16 with Obeyed and the Salamanders. That game's just finished by the looks of it. I don't know the result yet, but the Salamanders look like they just come down and nuked everything. So that looked like a great game, honestly. Table 13 with Antu and Chris Caves Jr.
Here we go. Yeah, what's going to happen?
Yeah. So it looks like the Seraphon with Chris Caves is gonna take it. Antu has pulled it back a bit though, so it's not a complete whitewash anymore. He might still be into it. But yeah, it looks like Chris Caves is going to take that one as the Bastards are just nuking everything.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Well, they're going to do that, aren't they? Like, just so good. So
I think the
especially
problem with
against
Bastiladons is they nuke anything anyway, and then you put them against Chaos and they're even better.
Yeah. So that's not gone great for Antu, I don't think. But you never know. We've still got like 2 turns left of it.
Yep, that's true.
Table 2 was Seraphon versus Dan Arnold's Idnef Deepkin. And the Eels are just tanking everything by the looks of it. So they just sat there going, yeah, cool, mate. You can do whatever you want. I'm not moving. So the Eels are tanky rather than killy.
Interesting.
Which is quite cool. So he's taken more Ishlane guard this time rather than more Morsar guard. So that's quite interesting. And the last one that I had a quick look at was which one was it? Oh, I can't remember which games I was looking at now. It was Darren Watson's game, and it looks like
Guard.
it looks like Darren is going to take it because he's won every single priority. If he lost
be good,
a single
be lucky.
one, yeah, exactly. If you can't be good, just get good. But it looks like Darren's going to win that one just because he's won all the priorities and meant that the Tzeentch haven't been able to really do as much damage as they can do. So, yeah. And apparently the Tzeentch have been failing a lot of spells.
Wow. Okay.
So it looks like quite an unlucky game there. But yeah, that's about all I've got now. So, yeah.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. How long is left on the round?
It's about half an hour left.
And then
So
the next round starts...
at 2:15.
Ooh, okay, so there you go. 12:15 BST for everyone who's listening in the chat. When we'll be back for the next round. It's nice that all 3 of our meme lists have won their first round.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've seen the Chariots win, we've seen the Sharks win, and we've seen the Salamanders win. I like it. Memes for the win.
Because it's the Bobo weekend, so all the memes have extra dice rolling power.
It is. Long live Bobo. If only Bobo was on this weekend. Adam, I really do feel the next tournament we do should be called the Meme Wars. And you can only bring the most memey lists you can think of.
And you have to drink more.
Yes. Yes. That's right, Donaldinho. I do think that Darren might be using the Team England dice in TTS. He did ask me the other day how to import them in. Those are the ones that specifically work better.
They just roll 6s, right?
They just roll 6s.
At least you can program them to do that in this game. You know.
I don't know, but let's not tell anyone that any of that's possible. I think we were talking about a little bit more about TTS, Adam, as well. You've been running these tournaments, but I think you're as excited as anyone about going and playing real games with real people, right?
Oh yeah, man. I can abuse people in real life then rather than online.
Yeah, you can see their faces react.
Yeah, as I crush them with eels and go, I'm playing eels, what you gonna do about it, mate?
Well, just to get back to this game, as you can see, all the Skull Crushers are dead. They're gone by the wayside. And then over on this far left-hand side, the Celestin Prime has made the charge into the summoned Bloodthirster. So this is going to be the game. This is the game. That Bloodthirster is going to go down. But those Skull Crushers took a lot of damage, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
I think like for me, those Skull Crushers like probably the MVP, even though that Bloodthirster did all the damage, just because they just did so much work for that Khorne army.
Yeah, so much. Yeah, like, can you imagine other armies where they have to actually engage with them? Like, they had to put a lot in. They survived a Dreadlord and Black Dragon going into them. He's gone now. Like, a ton of shooting from those. And also, it's quite interesting. You know the bronze flesh that you can do, being able to add +1 to save to a unit in Khorne? Yep. I mean, obviously, on the Bloodthirster, you're like, oh, he's got a 3-up save. But actually, if you just consistently think, I'm just going to put that on the Blood Crushers, I'm just going to make them more survivable all the time.
I'm just going to leave them on the board all game.
Yeah, it's a great tar pit. A bit like how we see the Kadai being used in the game. It's just like they don't really have the output that you'd expect. But they'd be really good into, not that we're seeing lots of it, but Legions and Nagash, the Undead. You know, like Reapers when we saw loads of those, or Nighthawk models or something like that. They can fight it out. Even Plague Monks, they'd be great into those.
And Sylvaneth. Oh wait, anything is.
Yes.
Sorry, Sylvaneth players.
Yeah. So one of our meme warriors is in the chat. Studio Worswood talking about the Sharks. So I guess the real question is Twitch chat. Next game in our Meme Wars show. Who is it that you would like to see? Would you like to watch the Sharks? So the Idneth Deepkin with the Sharks. There are 6 of them. Or would you like to see the obnoxious Salamander army?
Sharks are shit.
That's the real question. We can't show Sylvaneth, Chris, because they've lost. I'm so sorry.
Would you like some breaking news?
Yes, I do.
So the 2 times winner, Matthew Goldsborough, has just lost on table 15.
What against?
The Ossiarch Bone Reapers.
Really? So
the game that he wasn't confident in, he did end up losing.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing. So that's really interesting. Matt has been running the Seraphon. He's won the past 2 events, so he's now out. The 3P is down. There'll be no 3P. That's pretty massive. Okay.
The shark matter is here.
Yeah, it's all about the shark meta. Everyone wants Sharks versus Sallies, but unless we get super lucky, which I can only hope for,
I'll just rig it.
That would be the game of the century. But it looks like the votes are going towards Sharks in a big, big way. I'm not going to lie to you. But so there's obviously some other votes in the chat. But that's all awesome. And what was the OCR Bone Reapers list he played?
I will just have a quick look for you. Give you like 2 minutes and I'll get back to you.
Yeah. No, we're not going to actually rig it. It was just a joke.
No, I am actually going to rig it.
Now, if it happens, you look like a knob. Think about this.
Do I care?
All right. Well, it looks like Sharks have won the vote so far. Down with the fishes. I'm rooting for the shark meta. A lot of people loving the Sharks. As you can see, this game, James, I feel this game is over.
Long gone. I think that the last priority role was the end of this game, I think.
So
would you like the list?
Yes.
Yeah,
please.
do it.
Yeah, so the Ossiarch Bone Reaper list was Petrifex Elite, obviously. It was Nagash, Leech Cavalos, 15 Death Riders, 5 Death Riders, 5 Death Riders, and Umbral Spell Portal.
pretty simple and on the nose, right?
There you go.
There you go. And that beat the terror that is the Seraphon, because they are not messing about them Seraphon. That's really interesting actually, because I guess that big brick of 15 he wasn't able to punch through at any point, which I think
I
is
assume
quite cool.
so.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really awesome. And also Nagash will be able to teleport into the back lines at any point. And Escalation's got a lot on the map. Like there's a lot of space. So and Matt wasn't taking a lot of bodies in his Seraphon list, so he wasn't really able to control a lot of the board space because he gave up having lots of schemes.
I think Seraphon need a buff.
Yeah, please buff Seraphon.
They're clearly not doing very well.
Okay, I'm the OBR player, says Benji. Well done, Benji. Smashed it. Proud of you. Well done. That's good. But sad for Matt, who's a lovely, lovely, lovely fella. But is not now the champion, the reigning champ so far. So there you go. James, Adam, let's take a break. Everyone, we're going to take a break. This round is now over for us. We'll be back at 2:15 British Summer Time. 2:15 British Summer Time. So join us there. Probably just say 2. Get it in your head. 2:30, somewhere around there to get the game started. And we'll see what the draw is like. You can obviously follow this. If you type in !lists, you can see the current lists, but you can also find out where they are on Tabletop TO, so you can see what the other lists are and follow along with the draw in the next round. So it's going to be good. You guys have all been awesome. Adam, you still there?
I am.
Thanks for running the event. You're great.
It's all right.
And also, big shout out to James. Thanks for being the best ever co-host ever.
Pleasure as always.
In the world ever. 24/7. It's been a pleasure. Thanks. All right. Well, we'll see you guys soon. Have a great day. Chris, Donaldinho, see you later. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in a few hours. An hour.